Alright, and we're live here at the Station of Decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by Ty Cheman.
Hey everybody.
The return of Paul McGinnis. It's a very cool shirt. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the good folks of Slasher Days of Summer, which is right there in the corner of the show. So, which is it's a catchy name.
Yep.
To me, it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, on mine it's right above Ty, so I'm not sure where it is for you. All right. So, for people not aware, and a lot of people were already because they got the crowdfunding is doing well the first day. Knock on wood. We don't want to put a jinx on it. Can you give people an idea of what Slasher Days of Summer is?
Yeah. So this was a production that right after Little Green People we premiered last year, we won Best Western New York Feature. I had an idea of like every time you're done with one film, you're like keep thinking of like, okay, well what's next? And I always loved films like Scary Movie and basically any like horror comedy. Evil Dead, like Army of Darkness, so on. That kind of what helped push this into this of wanting to do another horror comedy. If you guys remember, I used to do not another monster movie. That was my first time working with Paul McGinnis as Kevin, the officer, and he got to fight a couple vampires. And anyways, I thought like, okay, what's a story that could be kind of original to my story writing style of like comedy, but what's something that's also been done basically 1,000 times before. So I thought, you know what, I wanted to do. Originally, it was going to be a sci-fi comedy called Sci-Fi Days of Summer, and I think I mentioned that to Paul like once or twice. And then I'm like, okay, like I really want to lean towards horror on this one, so that's when it became Slasher Days of Summer, and that kind of birthed in the end of August of last year, going into September. I didn't have anybody set to go on the project. It was more of like, hey, Paul, I got another gig for you. Kind of thing. We don't know what budget's going to be. We don't know how big it's going to be. But he jumped out immediately, like a person looking for a floating door after the Titanic.
So, well, I'm glad you're still here with us.
Yes. He could swim. And he could float.
Knocked her off that door and climbed right on.
Yep. So, yeah, I wrote a draft. After I kind of started shaping of what we wanted it to look like, I got Kristen Skeet involved to direct again. She came through and co-wrote and made changes and upped and paced the comedy and stuff how we hoped. And a lot of people that we worked with before, from like Little Green People and our previous films, like Monster Movie and even the Alive series, that's what started with me 10 years ago. I'm super happy we got like 3 of those people involved in this. We just slowly been leveling up. And yeah, yesterday we launched our Indiegogo campaign. Within roughly 36 hours now, we've raised $4,757.
Sweet.
And yeah, we've upgraded our cameras. We hired a fantastic crew. We have Chris Cosgrave, who was Greg Lamberson's director of photography for Guns of Eden. We also have Hope Muehlbauer and Alex Frank. They shot Lydia Falls, which they were award winners for that Severland Film Festival for the last season.
Oh, nice.
We got them on crew, and it's just
really three of the top technical people in Buffalo, in my opinion.
Yeah. So
without a doubt,
we got them hooked on board. We got everybody's rates locked in, and we are just ready to shoot the damn thing. We've been practicing with equipment, learning the new cameras, learning the new lights, the sound gear. Basically just meeting up for like, it came down to calling it like 8-hour workshops of just making sure we like our gear before just saying like, okay, we got this, let's use this tomorrow kind of thing. Like, no, we want to make sure we got it right. So yeah, it's been pretty fantastic. We have a great killer for the film, Eugene Bolfill. He's actually our personal trainer, a couple of us in the production. He likes to kick our ass about Monday through Wednesday at the gym. Putting us through some things. We're gonna.
I've noticed on your Facebook, yeah, you're posting a lot of like the beefcake photos.
Yeah, we have a lot of funny things planned for like gym photos and so on, as him as the killer with an axe and so on. We'll get to that another point in the road, but yeah, this has been a really really good production starting out with, and oh yeah, someone commented. So the website's just different. It like shows like a brief message or a comment.
Yeah, I
And then
saw
just
that
like
too. I was like, "Who's that guy?" I was
yeah,
like waving at him, like,
yeah.
"Hi."
Thank you, thank you. Um, but yeah, Paul, did you want to go into how you got involved aside from me offering you a
I
role?
Well, I like Ty had said, I've worked with him in the past couple productions, and you're selling yourself short, Ty, 'cause I remember the gem of the idea, like when you were, and I've been watching it evolve little by little, and every once in a while we'd be on set, and you said, it'd be funny, and you throw a joke my way, and I'd be like, yeah, that would be funny. So. Um, Basically, I was like, if he's doing this, before you even asked me, I'm like, he's doing this. I'm going to worm my way into this project. I don't know what I have to do. And then when you asked me, I played it coy. I was like, I'll think about it. But yeah, absolutely. After working, not just with you, but Kristen Skeet, who probably I've seen her stuff, and she first of all elevates good into greatness every time I've seen her involved doing her own stuff. She's amazing, a very intelligent person, and I wrote a short film at the beginning of the year that I got to shoot, and based on I have motorcycles. I don't know if you guys hear that. Sorry.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
Based on other suggestions, I'm like, hey, Kristen, could you take a look at this? And she just didn't even wasn't even asked. She reformatted it because it was horribly formatted because my script writing software went kaput. So I just had to do it on a Word, but I needed to get it down. And she perfectly formatted, made a cut without even asking. She made a couple minor adjustments that I was like, oh, that's better. Oh, like just little things, and I was like, holy cow, she is so smart but so humble about it. And I mean, something simple as the two characters. She had the one character say like her full name when she's yelling at her. And I was like, well, that's a smart thing because when you're getting yelled at, it's like Ty Andreas Cheman. I don't know if that's who you totally go
I don't
full.
have a
You
middle
mean
name.
business then, right? When
Yeah,
you say
Yeah.
exactly. And I have five names. Little known facts. When my mom got through all five, I knew I was in trouble. But anyways, yeah. With her
I can't
involved,
fit
and
all
then
that on the banner. It's too much.
you can't. It's fine. That's fine. I won't. But that's a little trivia. Um, and like I said, when I heard that Chris Cosgrave, who is going to be helping me on my short, and he's worked with Greg, and I've seen his technical know-how just blows me away. How good he is, and then Hope is a young up and comer, and I've seen her like chill when she was a child making these films, and she's in her mid to late teens now, and I'm
Mm.
like, how dare you be this talented at that age? She's just And then I've done a couple projects where she's come across aboard as the camera person as well, along with her partner, and they're both amazing. So we've got such a team of talent behind the camera, not even counting the actors. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this.
And so Ty, when you're giving like the gist of it, and you're saying
Yes.
something that's been done before, but you want to, so there's been horror comedies and stuff, so people like that, but and with slashers. So what do you do to make it stand out and make it different?
It's more of okay, so when forming the story and so on like that, because like if you've seen the previous stuff, like I know you saw Monster Movie, Little Green People. I like doing ensemble cast comedies. So I kept thinking like, okay, like what's a good setting for a horror film? I kept thinking like like Friday the 13th was never really trying to like take advantage of like from an indie perspective as a comedy. So we kind of kept playing with that idea, and then there's more twists in the film. So, like flat out, we've been advertising Eugene Bullfield as the killer, but we've been also introducing and writing characters that are just so weird that you think they would be a suspect, kind of thing, into the film. And I know that's been done a couple times though, but it's more of just this being a Western New York original feature film for the area, and seeing all the cast and stuff, we haven't really seen anything on this level done in this area for this kind of story. So it's kind of along the lines with that, and so on, if that makes sense. A lot of people, Greg Lamberson mentioned that he sees mine as a lot of like Monty Python style comedy writing, and he told me to stick with that about 6 years ago, and I've stuck with it ever since. So
when I think Monty Python too, I also think very over the top gore. So is that something that will be in Slasher Days of Summer?
Absolutely, and Paul McGinnis is involved in one of those scenes.
Mm-hmm. And there's a couple, without giving any spoilers, and I won't, but I know there's a couple other twists that, honestly, if I, as a horror fan and a comedy fan myself, I was just like, oh, this is so fun. It's like things that people will not suspect coming in when they're happening. It's just going to be like that shock hilarity kind of deal that Ty is very good with.
It's only a flesh wound.
Exactly.
Something like that. Something like that. Okay.
Antoine Howard says he cannot wait to see it.
Awesome. Thank you, Antoine, for helping me out. He's my coworker.
Oh, very cool.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite coworkers, just so you know.
Oh, good. I'm glad he wasn't like one you really hate.
He shares all my stuff online, so this is really good.
So who's in charge of the effects?
So that's where we ran into a head bump, but I used to do special effects for a couple previous films along the line with other people's projects and local events. So kind of like not trying to do the one-man army thing, I entirely stepped away from all the camera work on this project. Everyone's known me for my last features. I was always the DP and co-director. This one I completely stepped back. I am only focusing on production managing, sound, and special effects. The last time the crew met up, about a week and a half ago, we got to see most of our makeup gear basically laid out on display and worked around, okay, like how do we want to do bruises, how do we want to do blood spatters, blood pumps, so on like that, open wounds, latex, scar putty, and it looks like me and Hope Muehlbauer are going to be running special effects as well as at least 2 other different departments, while Kristen directs and Alex works with Chris and stuff for the cameras.
Now, you talked about, it's a local actors and stuff. Did you meet all of them through Buffalo Dreams, or did you know them another way?
I would say about 80 to 90% of that. So there's, like I said, the 2 or 3 people I met at the start of my career a decade ago. Somehow they're still here with me. I don't know why. I'm a psycho, but yeah, I ever since I've been attending, that's the one thing I could highly recommend to anyone looking, whether if they've been in film for a while or just starting or just want to make new connections, is just go to film festivals. Like, that's actually, because I remember that's how I met you at Buffalo Dreams when you were there before. Look at where we are now. This is like my 6th or 7th time on the show. So, but other than that, yeah, I've made so many network connections. Like, we have Chad Ridgely involved, and he just won Best Film for Canes for his film, Self-Isolation. So we're extremely excited to work with him on Slasher Days, and we're really happy to get him into the area. And yeah, it's just been so much networking, and the cool thing is, like, say if you go to a film festival, you don't have anything to submit, but you still have the chance to talk to those attending directors and crew to learn from their projects in person, and then just building those connections from there and becoming friends over time. Like, that's how we met Richard Roundtree, too, and he's based in the UK, and it's just, knowing him for the past 4 years has just been a fantastic friendship.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of the festivals, and I don't want to use the term smaller festival, but there is like a better community feel when it's like a one-screen festival as opposed to like a Fright Fest is very cool in London, but it's like 12 screens, so it's a big deal, but you're not really with everybody watching everything together, where I think like Buffalo, my local one, Boston Underground Film Festival, South Texas, well, those there's a real communal feel because there's a lot of the same people that come. And then, people come and go from other areas.
110% agree to that. Like, when Killer Rack was playing the festivals, I got to kind of see the variety. And I was at so many festivals that were more like conventions with festivals, like little tiny rooms that maybe 3 or 4 people went into. So you go to those things and it didn't feel like okay, we were just like a sideshow
Yeah.
of someone coming to me and Kane Hodder kind of deal. Wherein Buffalo Dreams, or I mean Shock Stock up in London, Ontario, and other like films that I thought, okay, they care about the filmmakers, they care about the movies. The filmmakers all supported each other. It's like, oh, I want to, and that's one of the things I really love about Buffalo Dreams as well, is it really, really puts the filmmakers up front, and you get people coming from all over the world. And I tell people, like, just come support, show them the love that they deserve. And we've got some pretty big people at Buffalo Dreams. And Greg always justifiably puts them up and really gives them the respect they deserve.
He's
Yeah.
probably watching this, sitting back with a drink just.
Well, I always think Greg's one of the best at the Q&As too, because he comes. He's been a lifelong independent filmmaker, so he knows a lot of the stuff that some other people wouldn't think of to even ask, like distribution questions, and just getting a film made on an independent level, and still maintaining a life, because he's got a family and everything. So there's a lot of things that people might not think about.
I also like to congratulate him on joining the Producers Guild of America. I know it has been done too much in public or anything like that. At least I haven't seen him that much, so but that is a really proud thing for him to do. That's a really cool thing.
Golden Groves. Paul's nickname in high school was Buffalo Dreams.
Okay, that's an in joke. The Golden's a friend of mine, also a filmmaker of the September Brothers. I've done some great work with them, and whenever they say something, I'll throw out that that was my nickname and an insert here. That's one of my favorite jokes. Is like, I have a slippery eel, and slippery eel was my nickname in high school, or something random like that. So that's why.
Well, that's very good. Now people can think like, what was happening with Paul in high school?
Right. I'm an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
That'll be a horror comedy of its own making. So.
Yeah.
Paul in high school, yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's not always true, but a lot of my favorite horror comedies, like the horror also really works in them, like Return of the Living Dead, American Werewolf in London. So if you have the really cool kills, is that the idea too? Like the kills will also be, like could work as a horror movie.
Oh, definitely. There's going to be a good amount of jump scares that we have planned and everything like that. It's also, I'm not sure if you and the viewers who are watching this right now have seen Eugene Bofeld. He is jacked. Like, he is Dwayne Johnson of Buffalo kind of thing. So him coming through the woods silently with an axe is going to be quite scary and overpowering and everything.
I should post a picture of this. If I had one ready, I would. If I was more prepared, but...
It's okay. We didn't know the electricity issue or anything.
No, I didn't either.
It's all good.
But we're here, which is what we're happy about. Yeah. So I don't want to get too far ahead, but what are your plans to do with Slasher Days of Summer when you do have it finished?
So we're definitely going to have local screenings. I know Little Green People, we kind of got limited to just, like, we sent it out to festivals and everything, but we couldn't really travel as much. So the ones that did get accepted to, we're hearing feedback from, and I kind of felt upset that, like, I wasn't in person for some of those. We're definitely traveling for film festivals for this one. We're going to have a couple local screenings, and we are aiming for digital distribution. The end goal, if it ever does happen, would be aiming for Shudder or something like that. But right now, with these Canon C300 cinema cameras, we are extremely happy with the quality. We can see it's there visually, and we are just ready to get this thing done.
The good thing about the rise of streaming sites, as a fan, there's there's so many cool places to watch independent horror movies that before they'd just be really hard to even find.
Yeah.
And classic stuff and international stuff, that's great. And a Shudder, I think, is that's got to be like the pinnacle. But there's also some other, Tubi's good, and
Tubi's amazing.
Good. Yeah. There's so many like hidden gems on Tubi.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Including
including including Killer Rack.
Yep.
And I'm a huge fan of Tubi because some of the films that I've done just kind of got pushed to the back burner, and people would always ask me, "Where can you watch them streaming?" And conglomerate that might rhyme with Glamazon kind of started screwing over the little guy, and when Tubi stepped up, and when I found out we'd be streaming on Tubi as well, so I checked them out, and I keep seeing all these amazing films. I'm like, oh, I hadn't even heard of that one, which is rare. And I'm a major collector and a major lover of horror, so the more obscure, the better. And so these films that I would usually go to Amazon for, I can find on Tubi, and they amazing. I mean, I think they've done so much for the independent artists, and yeah. I agree totally.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I had people on and they'd be praising Amazon, and then it just totally flipped. Monetarily for independent films.
Yeah,
and really strict on like anything with any type of nudity. If you're an independent film, if you've got money behind you, I'm sure you can put whatever you want up there. Which I found out even just a shirt. So I'm producing Psycho Ape 2, and I put up the shirt on Amazon, and they're telling me that it was guilty of being inconsiderate of the mentally ill, and I was like, oh my lord. And so
I've seen that shirt. I know the exact shirt you're talking about.
Yeah. And so I tried to fight it, and I even got a reply from a real person, and they were totally still in favor. And I even went to Amazon. And I if you put in Psycho, there's tons. Even though there's little kid shirts, it's a cute but Psycho little girl shirts. There's a brand called Psycho Bunny, and I sent all these things, and it doesn't matter.
Well, when we had Killer Rack on there, they pulled it and said it was pornographic, and we were like, "Well, have you watched it?" I understand it's a subject matter about a certain part of the anatomy. But it's really kind of a PG film, and there's a 2-second nudity and 1 F-bomb, so it would technically be R if it got a rating. And we're like, it's not. It's like you're playing 50 Shades of Grey on there. I think that's a little bit more. And but they booted it because it's pornographic. So we cleaned up I think we might have made a cut pulled the 2 seconds of nudity out, and made a cover that looked, because the cover was kind of an homage to old 70s exploitation films. And so we changed it to more of a horror-based thing, and it went on back up for like a week, and then they pulled it again without any explanation. So just the runaround we got for that, and again, without any explanation. For example,
most of these things,
I've seen that T-shirt that you're talking about, because I see you're I'm like, no. Yeah. And it's just like, it's one of those things that they're trying to make excuses not to support somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's normally so hard to get any person to reply to any of this stuff. YouTube's really bad about getting any type of... All the rules are super vague, so if you had like an actual set of rules and you could just follow them, it would be like, well, it was my fault, I went against them. But they're so worded so vague, it's like you don't even know exactly what they mean.
It's like,
YouTube,
what's the worst relations I've been at? Are you mad? No. Are you gonna stream my stuff? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? And
then they still at the end still like, and we hold the right to just remove it at any time anyway. Like,
exactly.
So I wanted to bring up with YouTube as well. So I'm not that far from monetization, which is fantastic. Finally, I got to this point. But there's one issue with my first film, which was Alive the Undead. So out of nowhere, about a year ago, it went from 3,000 views to 75.9 thousand views today. But they're holding it with copyright issues, and it wasn't anything of the footage that's shown or anything like that, or the visual effects. It was a song that I bought from a local artist before they signed with the music company. And because of that, they're holding the monetization rights to the film. I've submitted the paperwork, I've submitted the documents saying this was the release form signed and so on before they did, and they said the most you could do is just remove the song from the film if you want to monetize. I'm like, this cuts out like 2 minutes of audio.
Yeah, because there's no easy way to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can edit it and re-upload and keep all those views. You would you would edit the whole, or you can't like put in something else. It would just be silence for 2 minutes.
Right, and of course it's like the last 30 seconds of the film, so I just don't want so my first project's a shitty film. Like it's even explaining to it as kind of like a whole movie of what got me started in projects. It was just I put a lot of money into it. But the last thing you want to see is someone look up your work one day and just wonder what the hell happened.
Right, yeah, because they won't know. They just think, wow, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, yeah.
So that's what's been holding me back from making money on this project that I did 10 years ago. But out of nowhere, YouTube Analytics is cool because it shows you what countries are streaming your stuff the most. We are very popular in the Philippines right now.
Oh, really?
I have no clue why. I have no connections out there. But they love it. I'm like, that's great. Thank you. Yeah. Don't watch this ever again. Watch my new stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're huge in the Philippines. I'm going to start introducing you that way.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to send Paul over there on a tour just to make sure he's okay. And that will come over a couple weeks later. Yeah. That will come over a couple weeks later.
I'll be a genius in France.
Yeah. So I'll post a link for everyone too in here because the problem with a lot of these that they're not link friendly on like the Indiegogo sites.
Right. So I know I did comment in the YouTube page. They're streaming right now. The Indiegogo.com/project//films- so on. I'm not even gonna read it all.
But no, I'll post it here for everybody.
But yeah. This has been a huge first day and a half. And we're very, very lucky to be at 63% right now. So, what I'll do is, for the next 30 minutes, whatever donations we get, I'll match.
Oh, wow.
So how about that, everybody? Let's do it. So right now it is 7:35 until 8:05 p.m. I will match.
All right. Kristen here. You guys are doing great. Thanks so much for your kind words about me, Paul.
I only told truth. I didn't tell kindness. So I only speak of truths.
So, actually, when did you guys start working together? Ty and Kristen and Paul.
So, Kristen found me just before I started working on Not Another Monster Movie. That was 2017. She literally found me in the ditch. But anyways, no. So I was selling my old camera at the time, which it was one of those things. I bought it for a film. The film didn't work out, and I knew I wanted to upgrade to what was the Blackmagic 2.5K cinema camera. And I'm like, okay, well I have this little Canon DSLR. I like it, but I don't need it, and I wanted just to use that money towards the new camera, and it was still brand new. So I sold it online to Kristen. A couple months passed, completely forgot about everything. And then she reached out to me saying, like, hey, you know this camera, do you want to DP Murder Creek? And I sent her my footage back and forth, and that's just how we started working together over the years. Yeah, Paul and I, we first met on the set of Johnny Gruesome. In the,
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember we met at, what's the one that's in the abandoned train station downtown? I think that's where we met. Terror Horror?
Yeah, that was the convention.
Yeah. I think that's the first time, like, our circles crossed, but I don't think we ever actually, like, talked or knew each other.
Yeah.
At least that's the first time I remember you and I having a legit conversation. And I want to say one of yours was playing and you were offering everyone Cheetos.
Yeah. That was the first shitty live film.
That was the first time.
That's how you won them over.
Ty is like...
We'll work for Cheetos. Yeah.
We'll work for Cheetos. Ty is one of those person, I think his love language is gifts. He always wants to give people stuff. And I'm like, Ty, I will be your friend without stuff. It's okay.
Most of the time I give migraines.
Oh, I want to buy you a car. I'm like, it's like... So always offering stuff. And Generous Soul. And then not Little Green People. I'm sorry, Not Another Monster Movie. That's where the first time we worked directly with each other. And then it just kind of grew from there when he the famous last words of Paul. Can you just improv this scene?
Oh, and got a donation.
Like I want to fill it up a little bit. Do you have any? Can you just throw something in there? Would you mind? Like not knowing what he was asking of me, and then it just kind of just got out of hand. The very first scene, playing the cop, pulling the guys over, and just screaming in their faces about are they on the pot.
And also, we did just get another donation on the Indiegogo. We are now up to $4,792.
All right, Ty's got
$20.
And I want to mention, because sometimes I think people see and they're like, oh, well, it's almost 5,000, and they need 7,500, so they're probably going to get there. But even if you get, let's say it gets there, before the 24 days are up, the more that you get, the better you got. Right. That's like the minimum to make the movie. But if you get more, you can do more with it.
That is the bare ass minimum.
Right.
So what we did was, like I said, not only the equipment and stuff we acquired, we're paying our cast. So this was us going over everybody's rates for their times and so on like that. A lot of indie film over the last, like I said, the 10 years has been just unpaid work, and we really want to take the time and not only show appreciation, but we are a working class of actors and crew members and everything like that. But like especially with indie crew members, that you see all the big productions come through and they are unionized. But for the people that are not in the union and you're still trying to pursue this dream and career, you need to make money. So we're taking the time and the money, obviously, to pay the cast and crew for their hard work. So we're very, very happy about that. That Little Green People was the first feature that we ever did that was paid. Kristen shorts were always paid. So, but this, like, Little Green People was our first bigger step into it, and now Slasher Days is the full pace going through kind of thing for the next couple projects.
Golden Grove says next week I'm snagging my name in the film perks.
Oh boy, good.
So let's go over these perks here. So of course, special thanks, which is always great to have. And then it's great to first of all to donate anything you're helping out get the movie made. But it's nice then when you either go to a festival and see it, or you see it streaming to see your name up there. And you're appreciated.
Definitely. And then the next one would be a digital download of the movie and more. So a lot of the things that I'm not sure if I think I want to name it correctly before I say it, because if I don't say it right, I'm going to be extremely embarrassed. Okay. We've been following a lot of Jason Horton's Indiegogo campaigns and everything, and learning from him along the way, including Greg Lamberson and a bunch of other people, like Addison too, for how they do crowdfunding and so on like that. So we're going to do cool things like added perks on Fridays and so on like that, just to help grow and stuff. But we've been keeping an eye out on everybody, so we definitely, I think we got this down. So the one after that, I should say, the digital download of the movie and more, that's going to be the $35. The special edition DVD, which is super, super cool, that is going to be $59 USD. The next one after that is the Woodman's Fan Club. That is a signed photo of Eugene. We're going to take a really cool still from him from the goriest moment of the movie. And you'll get some awesome add-on perks with that too. The next one is the digital production package for $99. And then going into it, this is how you can be more physically involved in the project, which is your voice in the film. You could be on the radio, you could be police dispatch, you could be TV. It's for $139 right now. 2 out of the 3 are claimed. So we only have 1 left.
I assume something like that you don't have to be, in Buffalo. That one.
Correct.
You could...
Yep. You could be anywhere in the world as long as you could send a decent audio file. So the next one is your name in the film for $169. Golden just said that he was going to contribute next week for that. I'm going to hold you to it, buddy. Your face in the film for $179. And then B in the film for $119. And then going on is your art in the film. We have a lot of friends that have worked very, very hard in the art and music industry. So it could be a painting in the background. It could be a music CD, something that they did. We love musicians and artists, definitely. Like, have you seen the concept art that Kristen got for Slasher Days? Holy crap. Next will be name a character in the film for $257. You could make him Stabby Face, or Paul McGinnis, or something.
No one would believe that one.
Paul McGinnis. Okay.
Guineas.
Rock Spider. That's what we'll call the character. That's gonna be the biker character.
Yeah. Long story of that one.
Be a cop in the film for $279. This is gonna be. We have a lot of cop spots still available, so that's the one good thing. We have the main cast locked in. We left a lot of these supporting and background roles open specifically for this Indiegogo. So you would have an opportunity to be a cop, come to the set all dressed up, wardrobe, props, everything, and get a lot of good close-up stuff. Your business in the film for $300. That's if you're an independent business owner and you want to advertise your stuff. One thing I love about Buffalo is a lot of these independent business owners, like what I believe Paula's Donuts was involved in, right? One of them.
That's exciting. I didn't know that.
Oh, something.
Paul's very excited about it. Yeah.
You have no idea my love for Paulo's Donuts, and not just because of the name thing.
I think it was Dick Johnson, Tommy Gunn versus the Cannibal Cop. They shot there.
Yes,
but
they did.
There like even like local pizzerias and stuff like that would love to be involved just to have their brand advertised. Let's get to the producer stuff. The associate producer package for $697. The gruesome death in the film. Obviously, you're going to be ripped from head to toe, bloody, hacked, choked out, all the gory stuff. That is the $999 one. Keep an eye out for when these go on sale for add-ons too. If you contribute once and you want to contribute even more, you could buy another perk. Alright, star in your own scene for $1,199. You would be a solo person of your own scene. And the executive producer package, the last perk that's advertised right now, is $1,699. I believe we have someone that's buying that.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, this is a fantastic project. We're super, super excited. And everything's locked in. All locations are locked. The cast is great. The crew's great. We are ready to hit the ball rolling. We just have to hit our goal.
There was an awkward pause after you said the cast is. The cast is...
Oh, the cast
great.
is locked in.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know it skipped.
Greg here, Gregory Lamberson. Paula's Donuts, once a sponsor of Buffalo Dreams Fantastic Film Festival. We ate donuts every day.
Good.
So
I really miss some beef on whack. I need to get back to Buffalo Dreams.
Yes, we'll feed you. If Buffalo does nothing else well, it feeds its people. And we got a lot of great restaurants. I have family from all over the state. I'm learning because my biological father was quite promiscuous. Ty always checks.
Yeah. Oh, Greg says Ty always checks out my appearances, so I feel compelled to come kiss his soft cheeks online. I assume he means on your face. But
don't assume anything here.
All right.
Assume nothing.
All right, fair.
It's Ty is supple all around. So,
all right.
Anyway, we just somebody asked me, well, what do you do in Buffalo? I say, this is the only way I get to see Paulie. Was that from Greg too?
That was also from Greg. Yeah, he was
look at them all trimmed and coiffed. I miss you too, Greg. I really do.
Here.
All of us have facial hair right now. I just realized that.
I've been thinking about getting rid of it, but
I'm gonna grow mine out. I'm gonna be a werewolf.
There we go. Anyhow, yeah, we feed you well up here, so come on back, and I'll guarantee you eat.
But also, if your schedule lines up for Psycho Ape 2 and stuff, if you swing by the area,
probably does not, unfortunately, but I would definitely like to be there. I was thinking, I haven't been there for I think since pre-pandemic, since before the pandemic.
Before the plague, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a pre-pandemic?
There was. Jamie Hill says hello.
Hey,
if people don't know Jamie Hill from Skinamarink.
Yes, nice. Very good work.
And,
Facebook user. That was my nickname in high school.
Yeah.
That is actually Russell Jeffrey Banks.
Okay.
Hey, Russell. I was gonna say mine was MySpace.
His Facebook user is Christian name.
Uh-oh. I'm hearing. I think this is my answer. Sorry, I was hearing this show twice. That was my fault. I was being unprofessional. It was,
great.
Playing on both ends, but. And Kristen says, I do not have facial hair, I hope.
But yeah, we've been going to the gym like for so we just completed week 5 of Eugene's fitness stuff. Eugene is a personal trainer for his full job.
Is that?
But
no?
We've been committed through going up to the end of the production kind of thing. So it's been a lot on us physically, but it's been fantastic like team building for all of us.
Very good. Will there be a physical release at any point?
Yes, absolutely. So, part of that is hunting down a distributor, but Kristen knows platforms to get DVDs from. So, whether if we do a final, what we call the final cut kind of thing of actually sending it into a distributor and they produce DVDs, whatever. I've never gotten that far, but I expect us to this time around. But worst comes to worst, she knows where and how to get these DVDs printed, boxed, bagged, and shipped to us for us to sell them to at conventions and online, obviously.
And I again, not to get too far ahead, but I do think, especially for an homage to 80 slashers, if possible, if there's like a lot of interest stuff, VHS copies, people like to collect those.
Yeah, I would love that.
There's something of a collector's thing that we were discussing about 2 hours ago, and I can't go into it too much right now, but something is along that line that might happen. So, especially, just keep thinking about the VHS shape. So that's all I can really say like that for now.
So maybe think a little bit out of the box. Honestly, I doubt anyone who buys all these VHS tapes are actually watching them on a VCR. They just buy them and put them around because they look cool.
Yeah, they do.
It's the same thing with vinyl records now at the store. Everyone really doesn't have a vinyl record player. They just like the art that's in the box and on the thing.
This is the first.
That is awesome.
This is the first VHS movie my mom ever bought me in the 80s. And back then, they were like $80, so it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome for Creepshow. Very nice.
Yeah. I'll be honest, the movie is worn out. The tape broke, but the clamshell's cool. What were you saying, Paul? Sorry?
I still have a few myself, and I think my first 2 I ever bought were Basket Case and Evil Dead.
I'm a huge Basket Case fan.
Well, and I got to be in Dry Bones with Kevin from Basket Case, and I had him sign mine, so that was awesome. Yeah. So to get to meet him, and I was just like, "Sir, this is this is one of the first one I bought."
Kevin's a great guy, and so many things are going in August. I believe he's doing, for people who don't know, he does a free seminar where you can learn the ancient art of stone carving, and it's all free, and it's in Hunter Mountain. In Green Mountain and Hunter Mountain, something like that. Look it up. I've been there a couple times. It's a really cool experience.
I believe
and no one in the area knows that he's. No one in the area knows
stonework, and it was like, he's so good.
Oh yeah. No one in the area knows that he's from Basket Case. They just think he's like the local mason or whatever. But which is cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so. If you ever go there, if you see a Frankenstein monster that's unfinished, that's mine, because there's there's some big boulders there, and you work on it, and then they stay there forever, I guess. And so I went and worked on it 2 or 3 years, and I haven't been back for a long time, but someday I'll get back and finish it.
That's amazing.
So, what are some of your favorite slasher films that piqued the interest to do Slasher Days of Summer?
Paul, if you want to jump in on this one, I just didn't realize Greg commented.
Oh, I mean, come on, it's. I mean, I grew up with of course, the classics. I mean, to me, there's not a single bad Friday the 13th movie, and there was The Burning, which is actually filmed here. That's a classic that people don't believe was actually filmed right in my backyard.
And when I was a kid, that was a hard one to get. Like, I don't condone getting bootlegs or anything, but at the time it was like really hard to find, and
here's my policy, because I'm the same way. If it's not available at all, I will get the bootleg with the understanding that as soon as it actually goes on sale, I have to replace it. Because I never want to screw an artist over. And I think The Burning was one of them that I got. I mean, I'm still waiting for Dead Alive to come in a decent, That one's never been released in the U.S.
Yeah, speaking of Creepshow, I think just recently they announced, an actual Creepshow, the original one, a special edition, because there's special editions of Part 2, and for some reason there's a special edition of Part 3, but there's just real basic stuff for the original one.
Well, I just saw the re-releasing Ghoulies 1 and 2, and I'm like, release 3, Ghoulies Go to College, you cowards. Come on, that's the best Ghoulies movie. I am putting my foot down. That's hands down the best. But that's not a slasher, is it? Camp slashers in general, I mean, Sleepaway Camp's always going to be a favorite. All of them. The whole 1, 2, and 3. And it's one of them that I think you don't appreciate it enough when you first watch it, and then upon it, you're like, oh, this was a really messed up movie. And there's a short that my friend Rod Durek and I did, actually, that kind of got me into being a filmmaker, and it's on the Killer Rack DVD, and it's called The Camper, where I play a killer Boy Scout, and someday we do want to do a full feature of The Camper. But we sat down with Sleepaway Camp to really, how can we just fully encompass the camper slasher. Yes, the camper. I play the titular camper. And
Greg's a ventriloquist, he says. He wrote the comment before he said it.
And that one is when I think I first broke my mother's heart, because it was the first film I made, so I showed it to her proudly, and she just stared in horror and went, "You used to be a Boy Scout. You made a tent out of that girl." And I was like, "But it's not real, Mom. Okay." And so I promised I would never make her watch any of my movies, and then when Killer Rack, I did make her see that one. But since then, I've been like, you never have to watch my movies ever again, I promise you. So those are some of my favorites. There's been, what was the one that just came out and my mind is going away? There's a really fun one. Oh, this isn't what I was thinking of, but Final Girls. You can't, probably the best one in the past 10 years. As far as horror comedy slashers go, I can rewatch that one again and again, and it is so good.
I'm trying to, because sometimes these come with Facebook users. Kristen Skeet said, "What was the awkward pause after my facial hair comment?"
I was reading.
Now she's worried that she thinks she actually has facial hair.
Kristen, you don't have facial hair. I was reading the campaign for Slasher Days that we went up to $20. So.
I didn't know that was you, Kristen. I just saw a Facebook user said about facial hair, so I did not know. No, you do not. Okay? I think I have the fullest beard currently on cast and crew, but we'll see if that's... No, wait, Chris Cosgrave might have me beat.
He does.
People have time. They can work on it. It can be...
We'll have a beard off.
Competition, yeah.
We have 8 minutes left of me matching any donations to the Indiegogo still, everybody.
Yes, any folks out there you would like to donate to help get Slasher Days of Summer made, any donations, I will match, yes.
$4,792 right now is our current amount that we've raised so far. We are at 63% of our $7,500 goal.
So what are you...
I'm going to donate all of my love. Will you match it?
Aww.
It's only like $5.
Whoa!
I'm kidding.
Have I just gotten rejected?
It's all right.
So Paul had some good ones. What are some of your favorite? Because it's always interesting because it's always like I think of stuff from stuff I grew up with. So people have a lot of the same opinions on Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever. Yeah. But I've noticed since I've been on social media that people who were like born in the 90s, or maybe not born in the 90s, but grew up in the 90s, they like a lot of stuff that I don't think about. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer or something.
First, I'll be nice and say, Paul, if I had $1 million to match, I would. But, okay.
I said my love. I wasn't even giving money. You rejected me, sir.
I know. I'm just trying to be a nice friend, is all. So, okay, back to my
I just got friends on my tie.
Hey, I write roles for you, remember?
Oh, this is a good one, too, Behind the Mask. I think that's a really smart
brilliant one. That might be my cosplay for an upcoming convention.
Yep, so mine were definitely the whole I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream. The big ones that always scared the living hell out of me were the Friday the 13th. I think the first time I saw that, I was like 8 or 9 years old, and even seeing like the first Halloween movie, and it was just the thing. My brother, we lived in Texas at the time, and we rented it from Family Video, or no, Hollywood Video down there in Waco, Texas. And I remember watching it, and I was just absolutely terrified that there's a killer in the closet or walking outside the windows or something, just walking around with an axe or a knife. I think we saw Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2 in one go while our mom was out. But that movie definitely terrified me as a kid, but even seeing Scary Movie 1 was kind of what really caught my interest, I think, in like comedic films. The cool thing is, one of the actors from it, John Abrams, is going to be in Buffalo at the end of next month for our Actors Expo thing that's going on downtown. So we're excited for that. I got to work with John. He played Cindy's boyfriend in Scary Movie. I was one of the crew members for the movie Clover that shot in the area that he was directing, and I got to talk to him for a little bit, which was really cool. But yeah, it's like I said, when we get to Slasher Days, it's kind of an homage of these movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s that we all grew up with and come to know and love, and kind of mixing it with genres and everything of, like I said, going from comedy and slasher horror kind of thing. But if I had to pick definitely the top one that helped inspire it, would be Friday the 13th. The recent films, there's so many good ones, but I personally tried to pull a lot from Werewolves Within, which was another...
That's a really fun movie. That was one of the first movies I went to see after when you could go to the movies again.
I loved it. And Harvey Gillen, we follow each other on Instagram and everything like that, and I was so happy to see he was working on a New York project. I think they shot that in like Central New York, if I'm right. But just seeing those weird characters and how anybody could be the killer or the werewolf, basically. I really, really loved that. I think I probably watched it like 10 times now. But it's a really, really fun movie for sure for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Great action, great comedy, uses of dialogue, and so on. It's really fun.
Yeah, I do want to mention, we're going to get back to Slasher Days of Summer, but Greg did like Paul's shirt, and mentioned the Valkyrie Ride International Film Festival spotlighting films directed by women.
Yes, it is awesome.
Greg is a family man, but his family, so his wife and daughter do this festival that's all about women directors, and I only unfortunately got to make one nights of the festival, but I was blown away by all the talent I saw just on that one night, and I think it ran for 4. And just so, this is so giving a shout out. I did wear this on purpose because I'm proud of.
And it's a cool logo.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So, shout out to the Lambersons. The Lamberson ladies.
Funny thing, I was about to wear the same shirt, and luckily it was in the wash. Me and Paul were about to have the exact same shirt on, showing the Valkyrie Film Festival.
That would have worked out. You could have been twins.
I do wear it often, though. It was definitely a good investment to help their first year of the festival, and I'm very excited to see what they do this time around for the next season.
Yeah.
Greg also says, today Brian Varney came over for a brunch of props for Special Needs Revolt, and I found the skulls and props I'm loaning to Slasher Days of Summer.
Nice.
Yep. Brian's awesome. I'm very glad to have been able to meet him and work with him and so on sets, but he's a very, very cool guy. I'm excited to see what Adrian does with Special Needs Revolt.
Yes.
And
it's been talked about for years. Adrian, another person I know from Buffalo great. Dreams.
I was originally attached to that project. Scheduling conflict. Unfortunately, I had to back out. I feel bad, but I just what I've seen from the script and what he's got attached to it, that's going to be an amazing movie.
Yeah. I originally was too, but then I lost a lot of weight. And Adrian asked if I could gain it back, and I was like, "I'm sorry, Adrian. No, I cannot." But
not for health reasons.
No, but yeah. But
in the seriousness of what we're doing with Slasher Days, I have to commit all my outside time of my day job to getting ready for pre-production, so I have to leave that out of that kind of thing. But so far, like I said, the first day and a half, we've done pretty damn fantastic, and Krista and I too want to thank everybody who helped out and donated, the cast, the crew, family members, friends, people that have followed us for years, supporters. It's been an absolute honor that we are extremely grateful just to be this far in the first day and a half of the Indiegogo.
Yeah. I think, not to make this all about Greg, he gets enough credit, but I think that's going to be a great feeling for him to see so many people who come through Buffalo to be making so many, their own projects. I know on a smaller scale, I've been doing Severed Limbs Film Festival, which is a short film festival we do virtually, and it really makes me proud that I have a lot of people who never made anything before, but they enjoyed watching stuff, so they started making their own stuff specifically just to send in to my festival. And I was like, that makes, they don't have money or anything, but I like that, that they're using their creativity to make something.
And I'm very honored to be brought on as a guest judge for your festival, too, and stuff. And seeing what they make, too. I love networking with all the newcomers and the experienced ones. Like, the stuff that Andrew sends in for your festival, like, holy crap, that is fantastic.
Yeah, and he's played, some, has played some pretty big festivals since then, so that's cool.
That is so cool just to meet with him and talk with him. That's him. He's up to fantastic things, and I'm so excited to see what next short he brings.
So, Slasher Days of Summer is a feature film.
Yes,
just
sir.
so everyone's sure. Yeah. So,
it's going to be a feature.
And you said you're going to film in Buffalo?
Yep, so we have 2 days set in August, and specifically that is just to route some of the smaller roles that are either have scheduling concerns in September or they are going out of state. So this is just to wrap up the stuff. We're going to figure out a teaser with those 2 days of footage that we shot, and that's going to either go to the Indiegogo to show the people that contributed what we're doing, or save it for the teaser. We do have a goal to have hopefully a teaser ready by October 13th, Friday the 13th. So, as a nod to,
I didn't even realize it. October 13th this year is Friday the 13th?
Yes, it is. Yep. We made note of that.
I'll
the
have
last
to prepare
one, I think,
something
was February.
for
Yep.
Wow.
And by the way, just quick side note, to this day, I'm still angry about the fact that if you add up all the Friday the 13th films, including the remake and the Freddy vs. Jason, there are exactly 12. Come on. You need one more freaking movie. Your Friday the freaking 13th.
Friday the 13th, the 13th.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's just my minor rant.
Yeah.
So, if you had control over Friday the 13th, the 13th, what would happen?
There was a lot of talk about making a found footage Friday the 13th, and I'm a sucker. I am such a sucker for found footage movies. I know it's overplayed. I know that, but I'm telling you, and while I don't think necessarily they did a kind of Friday the 13th-esque one of the VHS movies, but I'm like, that would be kind of, take an iconic character like that and make it into a found footage. That's kind of what I would do if I had my druthers. But honestly, it's just at this point, it's, I don't know. There's been a lot of potential. I keep reading, and I know it's a rights issue, and I know it's all this technical stuff. I get it. But please give me one more. It doesn't even have to be good. I just need 13 of them.
Now, with the rise of live streaming, everyone has a phone and, ways to go on live.
Exactly. And it would kind of, you could take some of those cliches and have a lot of fun with them. I think they've been showing, like, kind of a sidestep, like what they did with the new Evil Dead movie, Evil Dead Rises. They took a lot of the fun aspects of the original and they just twisted them a little bit. Instead of cellar door, you're looking through a peephole. So do that with Friday the 13th. Add just another. Do the same thing from another viewpoint would be great. Yeah, from phone cameras, from these things, from video footage from the camp. Do one of those. I would eat it up.
Definitely. The funny thing, the Evil Dead Rise, as soon as the film came out on digital and they started releasing scenes of the movie for YouTube and Facebook, I immediately found the peephole scene for the door. I'm like, I sent it to Chris and the crew. I'm like, you guys have to see this. I'm like, it's a shot for reference because we've been going over ideas for lighting and shots and like different lenses and so on. And I was so happy to send that to them to check out. Though I'm not sure if they've seen Evil Dead or if they're as fluent in that genre as me and Paul are, but it was a damn good movie. There's a lot of people that didn't like it, but for what it was, for a movie in New Zealand that was just coming out of COVID, they did fantastic. So
I
thought it did everything. Like I liked the remake. I thought the remake was decent. I thought the Evil Dead Rise did everything I wanted the remake to do.
Yeah.
I actually probably like all the Evil Dead movies in the show.
Oh, they're my favorite.
Think, so yeah,
those are hands down. That's what made me a horror fan. Like Nightmare on Elm Street is what kind of got me in the door of horror, and then Evil Dead 2 solidified me as a full-on horror fanatic. So I will always give love to those.
I've enjoyed too that they said instead of every 10 years, they're going to try to shoot one out every 2 to 3 years. So that's pretty cool news. That's pretty big to finally hear from them after they've taken such a gap, and especially what happened with Stars dropping Ash vs. Evil Dead. But that would have been such a cool 4th season. That would have been everything we would have ever hoped for a Fallout style setting of
the sci-fi version. Absolutely.
Yeah. Damn, it
yeah.
so cool.
I mean, they really captured the feel of, especially the second and third movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the first movie, but it's not meant to be camp. But the other ones are.
Yeah. Greg commented, "No Slime City, Paul."
Slime City is there. It is. No Slime City, Paul. Slime City is not what Slime City Massacre is what brought me into the film world. So I always give love to Slime City. I was an extra in that because a friend of mine was dating this new guy, and the new guy kissed up. You always kiss up to the friend, and he's like, I went to high school with this guy named Greg Lamberson, and I at the time did not know the name. And he goes, he made a movie called Slime City. Now I knew the movie.
Always name dropping Lamberson.
Right, yeah, name dropping Lamberson. I remember I rented that a dozen times as when I was starting to get my love of just the really gooey horror, and I was like, I didn't realize he was a local. I didn't realize even that was a thing. He goes, he's making He's making a movie. I can get you to be an extra in that. And by the way, the friend and this guy are married now, so it worked. He kiss up to Paul, you might find your true love marriage. And so I was a fan of Slime City before I knew Greg. That's not a slasher film. That's a really cool kind of sci-fi gooey horror, which I've always give me my From Beyonds and Society, which I just rewatched.
Oh, Society's great. Yeah. I had actually just seen Society for the first time a few years ago when they put it on Shudder. I'd never seen it before.
I watched it on a big screen recently, and it like some things that slip by, like how weird it is. I like the aspects of it, but there's a couple lines like, how did I not know that was a line? There's a couple of them that are just so ridiculously bad.
I love seeing them. I think it's the best way to see any movie on the big screen.
It is.
But even if it's a movie you've seen a bunch of times, a lot of times it does seem different.
I agree.
Because you can't escape from it either. Unless you're like an asshole, I guess, and you just start going on your phone. But
exactly.
You're there and you're stuck there.
You can leave the room, you can do stuff, where on the screen you're like engulfed in the world. That's like on anything that I will catch on the big screen. Like I can let comedies go. I'm not an overall action movie fan. I am a big superhero geek, so I always see the big superhero movies whenever
I see pretty much everything. But
horror movies, I will go to the theater because there's no safety net, and you're surrounded, and you get immersed in this world. And I remember going to see The Quiet Place, and just I had a full-on anxiety attack.
That was a really cool experience seeing that in the theater, because everyone kind of played a role in the movie, because everyone's like actually staying quiet.
Because exactly, you're sitting there, and I'm like,
it was interactive with the movie in a weird way. Yeah.
Also, cool thing where they shot Quiet Place 2 in Akron. We're filming in Akron, New York, so you're gonna see a lot of the same exteriors, the same town, everything from that little opening scene from Quiet Place 2. We're filming on Main Street, so be ready for that little cool connection and stuff of what we're doing.
Absolutely. Will aliens attack us?
Yep. And then, Kristen said fantastic of securing locations in and around Akron, Clarence, Williamsville. This is going to be so good. I'm so ready for us to get started and to see just a working print of the project.
So, when you talked earlier, and like Paul was saying, like you guys would kind of go back and forth. Hey, this would be funny to put in a movie or whatever. So, a long-time horror fan, slasher fan, did you just have ideas in your head for different kills that you would like to see someday in a movie?
Some of them. I mean, as it's been advertised, our killer has axes and hatchets, kind of thing. There are other things of his arsenal and around him that he will use as a weapon. A lot of it too has also relied on the experience in special effects. So right now I've been working on making a foam axe that has basically a Y connector of tube lines going through. So when it's on the actor or the actress, we get pumped blood into it. So it's going to be like spraying out as it's just a prosthetic piece kind of thing. As obviously as Eugene is holding onto it. But we do have very outrageous kills in this. One of them is a very, very fast 2-for-1 kill, but I can't talk more about that yet.
Yeah, we don't want to know too much, but I just think it's fun to give you enough that, like, hey, I want to see this, but you don't want to give all your kills away.
There's
a good kill will the worst movie will. I remember seeing House of Wax in the theaters, me and 5 people, and I don't say what you will about that movie. The Paris Hilton kill is still amazing to this day. And if you had been in the theater with me and like 6 people, after the pipe goes, spoiler, the pipe goes through her head and the blood starts pumping out, you just would have just heard like dead silence and then just me going, ha. So, that is seeing Slime City Massacre, I will say there's some great kills that I think that was the first time Greg was introduced to my boisterous laugh. And the bottle scene alone in that one. That's right. Johnny Grissom was also filmed in Akron. A good kill will always get me every time, too.
I was going to say, that's when House of Wax turned into the title One Pipe in Paris. So, but anyways, what got me worst about the House of Wax was the tendon cutting scene on the back of the foot.
Oh, yeah.
I threw up. I was probably like 12 or 13 when I saw it. I was like, nope. Had to be the most uncomfortable moment of a movie I've ever seen before. And it still holds it to this day that I will not specifically watch that movie because of that scene, of how unsettling it is.
I will never not watch an Elisha Cuthbert movie, then I stand by that.
Yeah.
So Paul said Killer Rack is the only movie that his mom watched of his. Ty, what do your family think of you making horror movies?
I don't know. They haven't found out. I've been doing this for the last 10 years. No, I'm kidding. So, it's a bit complicated. So, when I started out, I was doing the zombie stuff. And that's when The Walking Dead was the hype. You got, I think, 10 years ago. They were roughly between seasons 3 and 4. And we were following it and learning it as they go. My little sister, who was probably about 4 or 5 at the time, took a liking to my special effects stuff, so like she would like being made up as a zombie and so on like that, and just having fun when some of the cast and crew were over watching footage and hanging out. But yeah, I don't think they saw it as like I was really pursuing this as a full, like, not full-time career, but obviously we all have our dreams and ambitions to get out of our day jobs and to do this full-time. I feel like they started taking it more seriously in the past 5 years of me trying to raise funds for filming, upgrading equipment, traveling for film work, networking with people, and so on like that. But they mainly know I stick to comedy. I just kind of mix it up with different genres. Like, we already kind of have the next one kind of shaped out of what we're going to be looking at in 2 years. And it's not even horror at all. But, yeah, they've seen me kind of, like, progress as I've grown into adult. Like, I'm 29 now, I'm turning 30 in about a month and a half. But, yeah, definitely the last 10 years, I feel like I've changed mentally and physically and stuff with my age as much as I have with my passion for the career and my path that I've been trying to set myself for it.
And do they watch your movies?
I don't know.
Fair enough, huh?
I don't know. My mom said she watched the Facebook Live thing I did yesterday and said I sounded very professional, so that was nice.
None of my family do, so don't feel bad, Ty.
Okay.
There was a big film that Greg produced in Buffalo about the Buffalo Bills, and I tried my darndest. I auditioned for that one with the sole hope that I'm like, finally, that a movie my family will want to watch. And sadly, they didn't take me, but it still looks like it's a hilarious film, so I still support it. But I was like, come on, love me. So
the thing is, like, in the last couple of years, though, they've lived out in Utah. so they weren't here for the premiere of like Not Another Monster Movie or Murder Creek or Little Green People or Infatuation and stuff. I flew out to Utah just above Salt Lake City. By the way, Sundance Film Festival in Salt Lake City, I made a lot of good friends that work there and have stuff submitted to there. That was one of the... I did network quite a bit out there. I want to actually thank Sam Qualiana for setting me up with film contacts out there. So my short, brief time I was living in Utah, I did keep busy with work. Anyways, I flew out there to Utah at the end of April, and I moved them back to New York here, so I drove their U-Haul truck across the country. That was its own horror story in the making. So, yeah, once you're in the middle of nowhere, driving a 16-foot box truck alone and a check engine light comes on, gets a little crazy. So
there's no axe wielders around anyway.
Right. But it's middle of Wyoming, and there's no town for like 100-something miles. So
you'd be wanting a axe wielder if he had jumper cables. At
there
the
you
time,
go. There you go.
I'm going to kill you, but do you know anything about carburetors?
Yeah, the funny thing, before leaving Utah, there was a collectible store that I really, really loved called Entertain Mart, and it's a damn shame they don't have it here on the East Coast. But think of it if, like, Media Play stayed open. Well, anyways, they had a whole bunch of collectibles, including swords and weapons and replicas and so on.
Oh, I remember your picture of that. That's where that was from?
Yep.
Oh.
So I bought... I love collecting Lord of the Rings stuff. And because that was one of the things that really actually got me into writing and making movies, was watching the behind the scenes of the Peter Jackson Lord of the Ring films, of all the extended Penny-sides and so on. I bought the replica of Boromir's sword. So as I was driving 1,900 miles, I kept the sword in the cabin with me. So I did have a travel sword just in case.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, we decided we got an engine code reader, and it was just a blown O2 sensor. And I'm like, okay, the mileage on this thing's going to suck, but I got to be to work on Monday.
Blown O2 sensor was my nickname in high school.
Oh, God.
Kristen says driving through desolate Wyoming in a moving truck alone sounds like a great horror movie.
Yeah, I did want to bring my camera, and I just wanted to focus on getting back to New York. I was in...
Driving alone with a sword, Kristen. Driving alone with a sword.
He was prepared.
Ty driving alone with a sword. That's the comedy. Yep.
And Greg, what about Rock Spider, Paul?
Second mention of the Rock Spider. People will not let me... Can I tell this story real quick?
Of course.
We got time.
I was in Guns of Eden, the Greg Lamberson action... And this is the thing about me. If something horrific happens to me, I will always brag about it. There are no dirty secrets. You can never try to bribe me for some stuff. So there was a scene in Little Rock City. It was called Wonderful Park with all these natural rock formations. And there was this cave-like structure. So one of the heroines had her phone, and she's trying to check it for a signal. And I'm one of the bad guys, one of the many militia guys. And he's like, Paul, and he shows me the rock kind of did a slide thing. And he goes, I'm going to need you to scurry down that like Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, I'm a huge nerd, and Spider-Man is my favorite everything. So, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this and look effective. There's no way. And I have a gun in my hand, like an AK. So it's like, two-handed gun. He goes, slide there. You got to look menacing. Slide down, and the heroine's going to see you in the backhoe and get caught by the other two, and it's just going to be, we're going to cage her in. So I did one take and felt like a complete boob because I'm like rocking on the edge of it, like, and slid down, but then did multiple takes, and for the first time in my life felt like a badass. First time in my entire life. And so some of my fellow militia kept calling me Rock Spider-Man. And I was like, you know what? No. Call me Rock Spider. Call me Rock Spider, because that's a badass nickname. And moral of the story, A, never nickname yourself. B, research first. Research. So I feel like a badass, and I'm making everyone on set, which means the three people who I have the nerve to talk to, call me Rock Spider. And I drive home it was a good hour drive home, and there was a brewery on the way, so I'm like, I'm going to stop in and grab a brewski. And I'm talking to, it's still kind of COVID-y, so it's like one person in there, and I'm talking to the guy, and I said, yeah, I was in an action film, and I did a badass rock slide today with a gun, and I think I'm going to call myself Rock Spider. And he's like, yeah, all right. So I drove home, and I went on Facebook, and I said, everybody, my new nickname is the Rock Spider. And then I said, you know what would be even more badass is to put a picture of an actual rock spider as my profile picture. And this is going to be like so epic. So I Google rock spider.
Which I just did too.
And the Google results came up. And I hit image. And as I hit image, something in the original page of what does it mean to be what rock spider means.
Yeah, I just found this out myself. I was going to bring it up.
Oh, so you just Googled it, did you?
I did, through the Urban Dictionary. Yeah.
Yes, that's the first thing that will come up when you Google rock spider. So for those of you who can't see it, I screenshot it because in Australian prisons, rock spider is what they call the pedophiles. So I'm telling everybody, please call me Rock. And I'm like, oh no. I'm just like panicking. I'm like, don't call me Rock Spider. Oh my God. Oh God, please never call me Rock Spider again. I'm not a Rock Spider. So it was just mortifying that I was legitimately telling people, call me a prison slang for this thing. So I wrote a sketch. I don't know if I'll ever do anything with it. About a guy who's a rock climber and gets like rock spider tattooed, but he's dating an Australian girl and goes to meet her family. Yeah. So just that kind of thing of just do your research, people. And I remember telling my friend this story, and he was going as he's going to. I'm like, I'm betting it's going to be an STD or something. And I looked at him. I said, I would have been happy if it was an STD. Worst case scenario is what I got. Right. You cannot get worse than that.
No, even other criminals looked down on this. Yeah.
Exactly. If it had been like a murder, if it had been like, he punches puppies, that would have been sad, but okay. It was like, no, please. So yeah, that's why people like to throw in Rock Spider as a little dig. So I am not the Rock Spider. Do not stand by that nickname. I do not support the Rock Spiders or anything. I feel bad for the actual insects because they're like, what the hell? We're just trying to live our lives being spiders that live in rocks. Why do these guys get our nickname? So
the origin of the name, I feel bad laughing about it, but it is pretty epic.
Do your research. I'm not going to say it because it's very icky and very disgusting. But
I feel bad even laughing about it. But yeah.
Oh, that's even worse. That is even worse.
It's very clever,
so again,
but
moral,
but
don't nickname yourself. And if you do get a nickname, research. My friend Drew gave me a better version. He said you should call yourself the Arachnid. And I looked that up immediately. And that's, I think, a like Pokemon wannabe thing. So I'm like, okay, I'll be a Pokemon.
That's fine. Yeah.
You know, you can choose me and throw a ball and I'll pop out, yay. But don't call me Rock Spider. Ty, you're giving me kind of a look of just pity right now. It's just like you just want to.
But Rock Spiders aside, you got to. I want everyone else to support Slasher Days of Summer. It's a great segue.
Don't support Rock Spiders. Support the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really not just because you're here. I'm really looking forward to Slasher Days of Summer. You're all cool people, and it's nice. I get to meet you guys, be friends with you at the festival, at Buffalo Dreams Fantastic Film Festival, and so it's always cool to see what you guys are doing next.
Oh yeah, we have some cast that do want to be involved on the show for Without Your Head. They just didn't have time, so if anything pops up down the road, if you want to talk to a couple new people, even Kristen could be on the show kind of thing, and with
brains
the other
behind
actors. Yeah, me and Paul just team up for podcast things quite often.
Yeah.
Yes, let me know. I've been trying since a lot of people like to be on the show. That's not me bragging, but it's cool. And so I've been trying to do multiple, guests on the show, and then every once in a while I have to record some because people can't be online.
Yeah.
Or they're in another country, and there's these time zones.
I'm pretty proud of myself for not dropping the F-bomb in the last hour and a half. I've been really trying. So.
Just as the credits start to roll, you just gotta go. Yeah.
It's actually it's fine for now on YouTube. There's weird rules.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. You can't do it within the first 30 seconds of your video.
Yeah.
But you just shouldn't be a rock spider on YouTube. That's all we.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably the worst than the F-bomb. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. That is too funny.
Well, it is worse. In general, it's much worse. But
In general,
talking... yeah. Let's see. AJ says, I've earned the nickname Hyena during an after-school fight. Well, there you go.
How did that go?
Hopefully it's totally fine. Yeah, I haven't looked up Hyena.
there could be multiple reasons for that. Hyenas.
Yeah, they can laugh. I don't know.
They laugh, they scream, they run.
Exactly. So,
They work for
–
evil scarred lions.
Yeah, yep. I remember. Yeah, they back those guys. I remember that.
They're pets of Harley Quinn.
Yes.
I did not know that, actually.
Oh, nice.
So you said, I'm glad you said that you're a superhero guy, though, because there is, like, a lot of people who, just want to attack, like, superhero movies or whatever, and I don't love them all, but I like a lot of them. So you should go and see what you enjoy, I think.
Yeah,
I'm always like that. Like, if you're into something that I am not, I was dating a girl who was a major anime fan, and like, okay, I got to look into that world. But like, look, if you're geeky about something, but that I'm not geeky about, I will still support the geekiness. Just I don't care what it is. I have a very good friend who's legitimately loves U.S. history, and I'm like, that sounds boring. And then I hang out with him, and he like has these. He hasn't since pre-COVID, but I would have President's Day parties that were a stinking blast. That he has trivia. Like, I did not think I would be anywhere near interested enough to do coloring pages. It's like, see, now you're making this interesting for me. So someone else's passion can often make me like, look, I don't like it, but I like that you like it, and will like it through you.
I can't say I'm never guilty of it. I try not to be, though. But like, I don't care about Transformers movies or Fast and the Furious. But I don't want to talk other people out of liking it.
Exactly. And I don't like it when people judge my geeks. So it's like, I won't judge yours. It's the same thing. I remember I was at some kind of family event. Someone's like heard I was a horror guy, and like, oh, I don't. So how do you even handle those horror? Oh, that's just what kind of person likes horror movies. And then listening to a conversation, and she's talking about every serial killer documentary that she watches.
Yeah, right.
And I'm thinking, like, I'm not judging you, lady, but yours is worse. Mine is fake. There is no Jason or Freddy, and that's the fun about it. That's, I don't let the more real horror is, the less I want it. I don't want reality. I live reality, and I don't like it very much. I go to entertainment to get me away from said reality. So the fact that you're watching the worst forms of reality, and the only reason I'm judging you is because if you point one finger at somebody, you're pointing three back at yourself, y'all. Little wisdom from the rock spider. I mean,
Yeah, when Annabelle and I were at, it was a convention. I'm going to say the wrong city. It was either Kokomo or another place that sounds made up, but it was something like that. And anyway, it was before Uber, so it was a taxi there, and we were telling him we were going to this horror movie convention. And he's like, oh, it's good that they do that because they get all those people together that would, be out there, killing people and stuff. And I was like, what the hell is this guy talking? Like, if we weren't watching horror movies, we'd just be out murdering people. And I was like,
yeah.
All right, yeah.
People don't seem to realize that the horror fans are probably the least likely to kill anyone ever, because we get it out in other ways. I have been to so many conventions, and I've been to the other geek conventions, and I'm again not judging any of them, but I always feel that horror movie fans are the most down to earth.
Yeah, and most accepting too, because there's all different types of horror fans. People think it's all guys in black shirts and goatees and covered in tattoos, but there's all different types of people.
And I think there's there's exceptions to every rule, but I always find like sometimes fans can get a little stalkery, and in my opinion, at least in my circles, the horror fans are the least of that.
And if there is someone, usually everyone's very like, they'll support everyone else, and call them out and be like, we don't want this person.
Respectful of everything, and I think that's why horror icons, I think they love their fans so much, because their fans know, like, look, we love you for who you are. We're not going to cross any lines. Be awesome, at least the few that, I always find it weird, my life right now, that, I'm friends with Debbie Rochon, that I'm friends with these people that I was like, oh my God. And it's just, I think the horror world is probably the most down to earth, in my opinion.
Yeah, and from doing the show, next year is 20 years, which seems crazy, but so many people, they talk about, the first time going to a horror movie convention, because they might have done a movie in the 70s or 80s, and then before the internet, they didn't know it had a following, and so they don't know what they're into, and they're like, I don't even know what's happening. And 99% of the time, they say everyone was super cool and accepting, and then they themselves become part of the community.
It was so cool too. Like, not only that, I've been, like I mentioned before in the show, that I've been adding a whole bunch of people, just mutual film friends and everything, as we've been getting ready for the campaign. And I added a gentleman by the name Frank Farrell, and it turns out he was the producer for the. Yeah, he was producer for the original Spookies film, and I didn't put that together immediately until he flat out said it, and I was like, that movie's fantastic. Like, I saw that when I was like 15 and everything, and just talking about all the special effects for it. It was so cool just to make that connection, and part of it was your show, literally, and stuff, all the guests and stuff that we have all for mutual friends and our just love of indie filmmaking and horror stuff. But Facebook,
and he's a super supportive guy after I had him on the show and stuff, and he's always, sharing the show, and will message me, and just a cool guy, and I know he's trying to get a sequel made, and he's starting to go to the conventions for the first time, and he's getting merchandise made. I was trying to help him get shirts made, places, get them printed, but just a really good guy. Yeah,
like I said, I didn't put it together when I was chatting with him, and as soon as he said, I was like, huh, what?
You want to talk about nothing to do with horror, but this is just a really funny story. It'll take me 2 seconds. So I'm a trainer for this is how I make my living. I'm a trainer for an agency that supports people with disabilities, and I was training a class today, and as one of my quote unquote students was leaving, knowing, she kind of found out that I was into stuff. She goes, "Oh, I forgot how she said she was related to him, but it was like a close relation, like cousin to that." Because he goes, he did a lot of, like, he was a film guy he's a camera guy, worked on Martin and like a lot of shows back in the day. And she goes, he was the camera guy on the oh my God, my brain just went away. The Thong Song? Like something of that ilk. He was the camera guy on that thing, and I went, "Oh my God, like, the camera!" Like, I just flipped out. And now my brain. Oh, I'm gonna have to ask again tomorrow. My brain just completely jumped. But something of that level of just like big booties bouncing in a '90s video kind of thing, that I was just in awe that, like, you're that almost movies, music videos that made me a man. Come on. So I was just like that kind of thing, that she just saw me go from professional, like, here's how we work in this job, and here's how we, like, your guy was the camera guy for the booty song. So that's the kind of love I like to give, and I think horror fans do it the best.
Agreed 100%. So Slasher Days of Summer, I've got the link. I posted here, but I'll put it on the website and on everywhere. Everywhere I post this interview, I'll include the link for people to donate. And it looks very promising that you'll hit the goal. And I always like to reiterate, like I said earlier, just even if you guys hit the goal early, that's a bare minimum to get it made. But the more, keep donating it, because you can make it better and do more with it.
So with Indiegogo, as I'm sure as many directors and film people know, there is a fee that is deducted at the end of each campaign, kind of thing. If we do exceed the 7,500, say if we even hit 10,000, that will help cover that percentage that's deducted and also go towards other stuff that we are invested in for the project. So I would like to thank everybody for the 50 contributors that we've had so far in the last day and a half, and raising almost $5,000, and I cannot wait until we hit that mark. We just want to say thank you so much. We're going to make a really, really kick-ass film because of all of you people. We hope you come for the laughs and stay for the blood. So, as my cat wants to say hi, and interrupting everything that I do, this is Cosmo.
Very, very, it's very rare an animal does not interrupt the show.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Even the last show I did the other day, I'm actually in my basement. A little mouse ran over here, but
oh nice.
It was not a camera, but I don't mind as long as he's not over here. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, it's gonna be a really fun movie. I'm very grateful to have Paul in this one, and hopefully again for another project down the road when I badger him saying I
You
need
guys
a
heard that,
funny
guys,
actor.
right? That's legally binding.
It is. It's
Yeah.
recorded.
Binding.
So if you need a copy of it, Paul,
I will. I'll be
can,
reaching out to you, Neil. Can you give me just that
Just
one
that clip?
sound
Yeah.
bite? Because I feel like he's working without me.
Yep.
Great job with the campaign. And this guy knows a thing or two. He's been around.
He does.
Yeah, who's this Greg guy commenting?
Yeah.
Great job with the campaign. Okay. But yeah, Greg's been super supportive. He's been helping kind of be like an eagle eye over what we do. I've listened to a lot of the things he said. I stopped posting a lot of stupid stuff about a year ago. But hopefully it's been showing my improvement over the last year or so and pursuing this more professionally kind of thing. But I'm extremely grateful that we get to do this again as the same team from the last one and growing with more crew members kind of thing. This is going to be something that's going to be very new, very
better
fun,
every time,
and very
Ty.
different.
Yeah,
I hope so.
and it's nice to see your progression. I know one of the things he said was about audio, which is as someone who watches a lot of independent film, that can really hurt a movie that would might be fun otherwise. But if the audio is really bad, it's hard to follow. And it's something that can really elevate it if the audio is clear.
Even just next to my
or even
phone
on the same level.
My phone's leaning against my computer, and I have my task cam holding up the other side. But even investing in one of these for like $50 to $80 could help make your short film or production as an indie person a lot better than the audio that's picked up on your camera.
Yeah,
so,
normally not good at all, the audio on your camera. And then maybe you're lucky and you can clean it up, an audition or something. But, why go through all that?
So I'll give one last piece of advice for independent people. Just because you're investing in a high-quality camera with a great lens doesn't mean it picks up great audio. So I learned that. I probably spent about $6,000 or $7,000 on making not another monster movie, and I'm going to highly suggest, had I invested another $50 and got a separate audio recorder, we would have had a lot better film because it would have sounded a lot better too. But visually, we have Paul McGinnis, so everyone's just speechless.
Yeah,
so,
they're just gonna watch Paul. Yeah, a silent film.
I'm the eye candy.
So we have Little Green People that's doing a couple more festivals.
Yeah, that's a movie. That's not like part of the crew or anything.
Correct. So we're gonna have that shown at a couple more festivals before Chris and I make the decision to either put it online or try to find a distributor for it. And then, obviously, Slasher Days of Summer, we're just aiming for distribution for. We're not going to hold on to it too long. We're going to try to find its home and keep going forward. So.
Very cool. Well, good luck, guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Awesome.
It's always good talking with you.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Pleasure as always, Neil.
We'll have definitely a couple behind-the-scenes pictures of the post, but definitely sign up for the emails for the Indiegogo campaign, and definitely check it out. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff sharing to everybody that contributes in these updates. It's going to get bloody, and it's going to get bloody very fast. So, yeah, we were discussing how many gallons of blood we need, and I told her between 10 and 20 gallons. So.
Oh, sweet. The bloodier, the better, yeah.
Exactly. It's going to shower. Yep.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. I'm going to add our next guest here. You can say hello to her quick if you like, is Tara Hutchison.
Hey, Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Come on.
Sorry we delayed the show a little bit.
No. It's all good, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Best of luck. I'm going to pop off, too.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
Bye.
I'll see ya.
Bye. All right. And now we are back. I was going to take a break, but let's just keep going here. And we're joined by Tara Hutchison of New Village Video. It's very good to see you again. All these waves. How are you doing?
It's just me and you now.
It is. I like the AC/DC shirt. Oddly, I was wearing a band shirt earlier, and I thought, well, I'm put on a more horrific shirt. But I was wearing a Pink Floyd tie-dye shirt.
Nice. I'm glad you wore the t-shirt, too, because I was like, today I'm going band tee. So I saw you had a t-shirt, so I was like, oh, it's just t-shirt day.
Yeah, last time, because you had mentioned you were going to wear the red blazer again, and so I actually had mine, and then you didn't have it. And I felt very overdressed. I had a top hat and a red blazer. But
I thought about wearing the blazer again, but I don't know. I didn't want to be too.
You have to be different every time.
Yeah.
Here's a little inside knowledge for people. They probably don't even care, but if I do two, not the live shows, but if I record interviews back to back, I bring down a different shirt for each one, so it doesn't look like I record them all at the same time.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah. So sometimes a different hat. I do have hats here too, in case I want to. It's just too hot right now, but I do like this hat.
I like it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What about masks? Do you have any masks?
Well, actually, I do. Got this.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, why do I have this just on hand? I might be kind of a weirdo. No. And then we got this, too.
Masks, too. Oh, cool.
This is pro wrestling, the Ultimo Dragon mask.
Love it.
Very cool. I think the only mask I have handy, I believe. I have this.
We need to have you do a fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? Is that a snowman?
It is a snowman. That's I save that for December, but yeah. Yeah, I'm like Carrot Top. I just have props everywhere. I'm very boring, so if I have to to make the show exciting, I'll grab, like a critter or something.
Aww, that's a cute critter.
It is very cute.
I used to be terrified of Critters, that movie when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like dolls and toys that would come to life. Like I wasn't, not to be a tough guy, but I watched horror movies since I was a little kid. So like they didn't really scare me. But like if it was like somewhat like a doll or a toy, because I had so many action figures, that would always, not necessarily like scare me, but it would disturb me.
That's fun though.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Magic? It's from the 70s.
I don't think so.
I would recommend it, but my favorite part is the scariest part for me was the trailer, and it's very short, and it's a ventriloquist dummy, and he's like, I forget the exact. He says just a little rhyme, and then at the end it's, and then you're dead. And we had a ventriloquist dummy. My older brother Troy can't be here tonight, and he would like tease me with that. So that trailer was probably the scariest horror movie ever to me. It was a trailer for Magic.
I just watched part of a movie recently that we bought at Mad Monster. And it's
nice.
It's called The Sinful Dwarf. Have you ever seen that movie?
I actually own it, yeah. Yes, and it's not for any kids out there. But...
No. No. He is very sinful.
He is, yeah.
It definitely delivers the sin.
He does, yeah. One of our listeners, Mike Terry, sent it to me years ago. Yeah, I was trying. I have a photo somewhere because I used to carry a portable DVD player with me when I would fly, so I could have something to watch on the plane before you had usually you didn't have Wi-Fi back then. And so I just took a bunch of movies that he had sent me, and one of them was The Sinful Dwarf. And then I started watching on the plane, and I was like, I can't watch this with people sitting next to me.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I would not recommend watching it with mixed company who don't really know you very well.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely its own genre of grindhouse, but that's the kind of grindhouse that I like, where it's like, all right, I want to watch this. What's he gonna do in it? Why is he sinful? It piques my curiosity.
Right, and then you found out, and it wasn't false advertising.
No, definitely not.
Oh, here I found the picture. So here, I'm gonna share this real quick. Hold on a second. It's a well-oiled machine here. There we go. So yeah, so I took this. This was my portable DVD player, maybe Blu-ray, with my Vote for Mayor McCheese sticker, and I grabbed a handful of DVDs. It was The Keep, Starry Eyes, Night of the Wolf, and the Sinful Dwarf. Well, I should have known. It's the Triple X version. It's probably not something that we'll be watching on a plane with people.
Imagine someone just looking over on the plane. They're like, what the hell?
I had a similar experience when I was in rehab years ago, and I was watching Blood of the Tribbids, and it's a lesbian vampire movie that my friends made, and so there's a lot of nudity, but a lot of male full frontalness, a lot of penises, and so I was like, so I went in the corner of the room so none of the nurses could see what I was watching on my laptop.
Oh my god, they just probably thought you were insane.
Yeah, well, I think I get that a lot anyway.
I love how Blood of the Tribbids has tiny crossbows.
Yes. Oh, so you're aware of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Michael and Sophia, who made that's who I made End Zone 2 and Once a Future Smash with.
Oh, wow. What a small world.
Yeah, they used to live in Boston, and then they moved to LA.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm glad you're aware of the movie. And it's got millions of views on YouTube now, so that's cool.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, tiny crossbows are very cute.
Yeah, it's really silly. Like, I wasn't expecting him to pull out just like a tiny little cross. Because isn't it about how the male vampires are upset that the female vampires aren't, like, having sex with them anymore or something because they're a part of, like, a cult? So they start killing them all.
Yeah, they're hunting down the women, yeah.
It seems like something that would happen to vampires. For sure. That's why I like
yeah, I believe it's based on a true story.
Right? Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, I'm happy to see. Normally I'll bring up movies like this and no one will have any idea what I'm talking about. But Sinful Dwarf, Blood of the Tribbids, you know all the classics.
Oh yeah, I love all of the just absurd exploitation films. Like, my favorite one is probably Switchblade Sisters and Bad Baby.
I have not seen this. Now I feel like the outsider. I need to watch this, yes.
You haven't seen not Bad Baby, what's it called? Spider Baby.
I love Spider Baby. Spider Baby's great. And not only do I love Spider Baby, for people who don't know, and it's very cool because it's the first movie with Sid Haig who goes on to become a horror icon. And I don't know if it's one of the last movies with the Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah.
So to have them both in a movie, one at the end of his career, near the end of his life, and the other one at the beginning, that's very cool in itself. But even without that, it's a really weird movie. It's fun and a really little cool trivia. I got to see it in the theater in Dallas with Sid Haig, and he was there watching with everybody, and that was a really wild experience.
Wow, how cool! I love Sid Haig. He's such a good actor. Like, he's just willing to go there. But yeah, Spider Baby's badass. Switchblade Sisters. It's a Jack Hill film. Have you seen that one?
I have not, but Sid's in a lot of Jack Hill movies too. So.
That one is a really good one. I love it. It's like about girl gangs, and they take over the guy gang, and they're the new leaders, and they have a lot of like that 70s lingo where they'll say like "you dig" with like a switchblade.
Yeah.
I just want to bring back that 70s lingo where it's like, "Come on, baby," you know how they talk.
Yeah, no, I'm down. Yeah.
Not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson. You know how he like talked? I feel like we need to bring that back. Yeah.
Let's bring back Manson. But no, I agree. Bring back the. We tried years ago, actually, to get. I shouldn't say this, so people not be cool with this. But we tried to get an interview with Charles Manson on the podcast, but it didn't work out. But we did. Again, I know some people will be put off by this, but we did get we did get in contact with the people, and we got the rights. You know, we do Music of the Month on the show, and we actually got the okay to do Charles Manson as Music of the Month one month, and they sent me, you know, the music we could play, and then they even sent me, and I have them upstairs in my room. They sent me, they were like these little pamphlets that Charles Manson wrote while he's in prison, and he like sends out. And so I have a couple of them up in my room.
What?
Yeah, it was a really wild experience.
That's pretty freaking cool. You could probably make a documentary about that.
Yeah, we tried to get him on, and it didn't happen. But just the idea of having the, I know you could probably just play his music if you wanted, but like we actually went through his people and got it worked.
What? That's actually really cool.
And then I'm not here to talk about myself, but so then we went, the first time we went to a Museum of Death, which I highly recommend if you've never been to, in L.A. There's two of them. There's one in L.A. and there's one in New Orleans. And the people there knew me because they knew that we played the Manson stuff on the show, and I was like, wow, this is really wild. And so if you don't know it, it's a museum all dedicated to like serial killers. And there's a whole room just for Charles Manson. But the first room, if you ever go, is so wild because it's just all art by real serial killers. And you're not allowed to take pictures or anything, but it's a really interesting museum.
It sounds creepy.
Oh, it definitely is, yeah.
I have Charles Manson's book that he wrote. And have you ever read it?
No.
It's definitely has a lot of that 70s lingo in it, you know? And it's like kind of nonsensical, but it's kind of hilarious the way he talks about them doing drugs together and whatnot. It's a good read. It's entertaining. Sometimes, like, while Larry's cooking or something, I'll, like, read him passages from the book. It's really entertaining, so I recommend it for anyone.
I love these great recommendations here. Charles Manson's book. And
you get to read about his early life and how...
No, honestly, he's a really interesting character. Interesting person. And I really think if he had a different life, he could have turned out to be a different, different person.
Yeah. Like how his birth certificate, his name was Nobody. Like, his mother was like a prostitute and chose not to name him and just called him Nobody. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how that would influence someone to be a little crazy in life, I guess.
Yeah, and you can't deny he's very charismatic. Not necessarily for good use, but Helter Skelter is a great read. Walter Mitty says.
Well, check it out, Walter.
Yes. I'm trying to find it here. But anyway, we are also here, not just to talk about Charles Manson, but we can talk about whatever you like. New Village video, which I'm a big fan of, and everyone out there should be as well. Lots of cool stuff. And right now, exclusively streaming is Murder Size. How do you say it? Murder Size. Yes. I thought I had it right. And this has a lot of buzz right away. I've seen the really cool posters and stuff, and I've seen a lot of people who have seen it so far that they all love it.
It's great. I think my favorite part about it is how much of a comedy it is. Like, they really nail all the characters. It's one of those films where every single character has a personality and has an identity and is crazy. The violence is there. The girls are there. The 80s is there. I've watched a lot of 80s videos, my whole life. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy the, salute to those. That's really fun. Yeah, it's really good. There's not a boring moment in it. It really does a good job highlighting the violence and the gore. When you get it, it's very rewarding. Great soundtrack. It has that 80s synth soundtrack.
Oh, very cool.
And yeah, it's just really fun. There's so many times that I'm just like, what? like laughing at the characters because you just don't expect them to be doing what they're doing. Like, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil any plots, but just the characters are so insane and fun. And it's just a good movie. It's a good watch. It's just fun. You know? I recommend.
I'm going to be watching it this weekend because the race directors will be on the show next week, so it's very exciting.
Yes, and they'll be able to give you a lot more behind the scenes knowledge and whatnot, you know. And Kansas Bowling, who you know, she's hilarious. Like, her comedy in it is very fun. She does a really good job playing a crazy person. I don't want to go into too many details about how she's crazy. I'll just say, this isn't giving anything away. My favorite part about her character is that for some reason she's obsessed with Ronald Reagan.
Alright. Well, it's the 80s, so a lot of people were, so I assume she's probably pretty the character is right-wing in the movie.
Yeah. So, that just adds, like, a fun, like, insanity element to it. You know, and you get these very, like, it's like, even though it's 80s, they have a lot of modern tropes in it that I enjoy. Like, even just that movie, but a lot of independent films lately have really been hitting in on, like, modern, you know, issues. Not even, I would say, an issue, but, like, modern life.
Well, even if you said a movie in the 80s or whenever you said it, you can have, like, social commentary of what's happening today. Well, same way with science fiction. A lot of, it might take place in the future, but a lot of it they're talking about, stuff that's relevant today.
It's true. Yeah, so it definitely has a lot of that. So I would say my biggest take back from that is that it's very refreshing. Because it's lighthearted. Doesn't take itself seriously. Good acting, good music, weird people, crazy situations. So I appreciate any independent film, especially, that is extremely modern.
Murder Size is so good. I do have, if you would like, we can actually play the trailer here, and then we'll come back. So we can give everyone an idea of what it is. Here we go.
Let's do it!
Now available on New Village Video.
You've seen a dead body before?
It appears the killer has struck again, this time attacking a woman in her own home.
We are going to make a fortune at this video.
Chino, how am I supposed to work like this? All those girls out there are perverts, strippers, and communists.
I'm an actress, okay? That's why I'm on the cover.
Nikki, what are you doing? You can't eat fast food. That's gonna make you slow and heavy.
I'll burn it off.
I'm a stripper.
Hey, I'll make a deal with you. If you keep the camera on me at all times, I'll go out with you.
Okay, ladies, let's put our hair up. Looks like we have a competition.
At least when my family wants to whack somebody, it's just business.
Just business?
Murder isn't supposed to be fun. Sometimes it's necessary.
I paid a lot of money for this video.
But there's a killer running around.
Horror movies make me horny.
Sweet. That show is very fun, very colorful. It looks like a good time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's only $3 on New Village Video.
Yeah, come on, it's fun.
Yeah.
Watch something weird and exciting and also modern, you know? We all love the classics, but sometimes you just want to see something that's made today.
I agree. That's what I like about horror and weird stuff. Is I like to watch old stuff, classic stuff, stuff I've never seen before, and I like to keep up with the new stuff.
Yeah, it's always good when you see something new, you know?
Yeah. And, so New Village Video, you guys have a lot of very cool stuff on there. Is there any like set guidelines of what would fit on New Village Video?
Oh, definitely art house, grindhouse, and exploitation.
You've got all the great stuff covered right there.
Yeah, like we love modern exploitation. Of course, whenever we can get a little classic, that's great. But for the most part, really just very heavily curated pieces. And then we're working on some purely in-house pieces. We have a film coming up this next fall that will be really fun and weird and extremely violent. But that's why New Village Video exists. Is we like to take the content that normally is banned other places. So
and that's becoming a bigger umbrella of what gets banned other places. Sometimes it's hard to even know what will get you banned, somewhere. So it's not. It's nice to have a place that you could still go see. I mean, I'm an adult. I like to watch whatever I'd like to watch. So, I can go see it on New Village Video.
I'm literally an adult. I can choose for myself. So
right.
That's what we're there for, And
I know when I first started talking to you, you guys were primarily on YouTube. And then I remember when you started to tell me about you guys were gonna, start doing your own like website. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And at the time it was just Antimony, and now it's become New Village Video, and it's very exciting to see all the wild stuff on there.
Yeah, like Antimony still makes films.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of the production company. But we really wanted to open it up to other creators because it kind of seemed like things were becoming more closed off when it came to other platforms.
Yeah, and we mentioned with the previous guest about Amazon. When I started the show, or maybe a little bit later, but Amazon used to be like very good for independent horror creators, and then they really switched around where not only they kick off anything that's got any type of nudity, and also just started giving like pennies, like back to people. You have to have a big studio film to make any money on anything, and YouTube. The rules are so vague, you don't even really know what you can put up there or not. Even if you mark it 18 or older, you can still get like flagged. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's really weird. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we're just always looking for people that push the envelope and really tackle the modern world. We've all seen the old stuff, and it's great. I love it, but.
And I suggest people often, is like, you guys should maybe look at New Village Video, not only for people to watch, but also, filmmakers that I know. Like, reach out to them. Maybe it'd be a good fit for your movie.
Yeah, definitely. Any filmmakers out there, to you. If your stuff's banned, or people say it's too violent, or has whatever kind of content, bring it to us. Because we love exploitation and grindhouse. That's what we do. That's why we made, everything looks very 70s looking. Like that's definitely our influence, are the outliers.
And I was gonna say, so last week we had Lloyd Kaufman on, and Trauma was completely banned from YouTube, and they actually got back right after our interview, because people kept reaching out to YouTube. But that's a giant thing that's been around for 50 years, Trauma, or 40 years, between 40 and 50 years. So they have a built-in audience that can really go out there and like hammer people to try to get back on. But two things there though, a big thing that's been around that long was banned. So if they can get banned, anyone can get banned. And not everyone has this big following to like hammer YouTube to get back on.
Good point. That's a really good point, Neil. Yeah. Not everyone has that, and good for them for getting back on.
Yeah,
like Coma, they're great, but not everyone has that. So, for the people that have nowhere to go, come to us. We love the weird and the worldwide weird. So, not just films banned in the United States. It's not like banned.
Right.
It's just like someone doesn't want to show it because there's too much blood. Like, how in what was it? And please correct me if I'm wrong on this. Anybody or you, Neil? Anyone listening? Isn't it true that in one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, they had to start making the blood black so that they didn't get.
I think that they did that in a lot of movies and a lot of the slashers in the 80s. Because the brighter red, like, for whatever reason, that would get, like, not rated or NC-17 or whatever. So I think you're different. I don't know which movies in particular, but I know they've done that in a lot of movies, especially slasher movies.
Yeah, like some kind of thing like that, where they couldn't have too much red blood because it would turn the rating to NC-17.
Yeah.
So a lot of the films we have are literally because of those reasons. Where it's like, oh, you said one too many F words, or something.
Yeah.
You showed a tit too much. I don't know. Like, weird stuff like that. But, yeah, we're always accepting submissions, and we're always coming out with new stuff, and making some things in-house this year, so...
Well, that's very exciting, too. Yeah. Let's see here. Fuzzball Productions, he was on earlier, Ty Cheman. Definitely check it out. He's type of murder size. Glad to see some friends in this. Oh, very cool.
Yay, thank you. I don't know why I do that. Like, I have to echo it, like, it's the internet.
It adds drama, I think.
I want to pretend I'm, like, reaching.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hello, Tara.
Hello.
Yeah.
I feel like I can reach you if I go to the camera. I feel like I can like reach, Mm-hmm. Is that weird?
Like a high five? Or yeah.
High five. And punch.
I have noticed since we started doing video shows, I talk much more with my hands, which isn't something I really used to ever do. But I think it's because I notice that I'm here, so I feel like I have to move around and not just be stationary.
Yeah, you have to fill this space.
Right.
Oh, anyways.
Yeah. And then I think I just start doing it in life now, too. I'll just be like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? But I'm sure they think that anyway.
Well, especially because you can see yourself.
Yeah.
Here, I'm like, oh, what's going on right here with that hair? And I'm just like, oh, I need to poke this more. Oh, I've got shiny.
I actually have, on the wrestling show, I do shadow box in the beginning of the show. And it's not something I've ever done before, but it's just like I'm just sitting here. It's usually when my co-host is introducing himself. And so instead of just sitting here, like, staring at him, I just start shadow boxing at the... And one night I actually punched my camera, and I felt like a total idiot, but...
Yeah. That's just getting into it.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm very weak, so it didn't hurt the camera.
That's fun. I mean, I wonder how this kind of medium is going to develop with people interacting with each other, like using the camera.
That's a good point, because I didn't even, I know we're not using Zoom now, but like, I think we can even do where we're just up close.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, before I didn't care. Like, I could just do the show in my pajamas, but now I gotta... Now I don't have to wear pants, but, as long as something up in the top.
I always have a formal top and, like, yoga pants on the bottom.
I'm very similar. I can't really... I don't know. But I have, like, just these weird, like... It's kind of hot, so it's almost just shorts on. But usually in the winter, I have pajama pants on. Usually my Yeti pajama pants. Even the shows when I have a tie and a vest and the top hat, then I'll just have like Yeti pajama pants on.
And like slippers.
Yeah, slippers, or I actually wear these old shoes. I'm sure no one cares, but and I don't tie them, so I can just slip them on.
Oh, nice. It's all right. I've got some old shoes.
Yeah. See, See, I don't know. I guess I could get my foot up here. I don't know.
There you go.
But there we go.
Your feet.
Yeah.
I have very small little kid feet.
Really? I have big feet. I'm short, but I have big feet. I think these are size 12. I'm only 5'4".
Damn.
Yeah, it means nothing though. So don't anyone out there get too excited. Just means I have big feet. But.
I get you now.
And I need big socks. Italian hands. Well, I am half Italian. So maybe my Italian heritage is coming out.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like a lot, but I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah, Italian, German, some other stuff, but those are the primary two. When I told that to Michael St. Michaels from the Greasy Strangler, he was like, "You need some Japanese so you can be the axis of evil." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my god.
Which I thought was very funny, but yeah, it was a very weird thing to say to somebody, but I love Michael St. Michaels.
Oh, he's so fun. The Greasy Strangler is probably one of my top 10 favorite movies.
I absolutely love it. The first time I saw it, we talked about on the show just because I thought the name was so great. I was like, these are two of my favorite things. I love grease and strangling. No, but I just thought... I was like, what kind of movie is The Greasy Strangler? Like, that name's amazing. And then I saw the poster, like, whoa. And then when I saw it, like, I just love everything about it. Every character is, like, so cool to look at. They're very unique people, even, like, minor characters. And every scene goes on just, like, a little too long, which makes it very funny. And then I really think something that sometimes is overlooked is the music in it, because it's this real, like, upbeat, like, quirky, and then, like, you see a lot of gross stuff on the screen, but you get this fun little quirky music, and it kind of makes you smile.
The theme song is literally just...
Yeah, and it's great.
Sometimes I'll sing that to myself, and people don't get it, and I'm just like, I don't know, it's just a song from the Greasy Strangler I put in my head, but... It's such a good movie. It's so weird. I really like how fashionable it is randomly, like all the shots.
Oh yeah.
Like
there's really good long shots, like be like a big long wall, and you'll just see Michael walking up. He's tall and thin with just like the pink stuff on, and it's
yeah, the pink turtleneck.
Yeah.
I like how it's like a rated R Napoleon Dynamite.
I can see that, yeah.
Like, that's how I look at it, where it's like, if you took the world of Napoleon Dynamite and just made it, like, X-rated, it's that movie. Like, it's so underrated. I wish people would watch it more.
Yeah, I it's honestly one of my favorite movies, too. It's just, though, you can't even really call it a horror movie. I know he's a strangler or whatever. It's just it's its own unique, weird movie.
Yeah. Like the part.
And everyone I know either absolutely loves it or just really hates it. No one's just like, it's whatever, it's okay. Or, I think you genuinely really love it, or it's definitely not for you.
You know what's one movie I watched recently that's probably one of my top 5 favorite movies? I think we talked about this before. Is Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. That movie is so funny.
It's definitely the best of the Leprechaun franchise, which I don't think is really a great franchise of films, but Leprechaun in the Hood, I think, is when it really hits its stride.
It's so good. It's just like, I don't know. I think more people need to watch it. It's absurd. And I like that sometimes I feel like the Leprechaun. In my life, like, of all the slasher characters, I probably relate to Leprechaun. Well,
do you have, like, a pot of gold, or?
No, I don't have any gold, but I get offended, you know, and I'm just like, you don't offend the leprechaun, you know, and I'm just like, you offended me. And I'm just like, I don't know. I like that attitude where he doesn't mess with anyone. But if he uses his gold or you like insult him, then he kills you in a terrible way. Sometimes he doesn't kill you. Sometimes he likes you. Sorry to go on.
Well, I'm gonna stay on your good side. I don't want to be I don't want to be offensive and get killed here. But yeah.
I would never.
Yeah. He's less sinful than the sinful dwarf. Well, but, yeah.
I love the sinful dwarf. I think inside I am the sinful dwarf.
So you're all the mini characters. You're the sinful dwarf, a leprechaun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the little mini character that people are like, get out of here, and I'm just like, oh, how dare you? And then I just come back.
Yeah, they overlook you because you're small, but you know there's big things come in small packages.
Yeah, true.
Or sinful things.
The most sinful things are in the smallest packages. I have all the sin.
Walter Mitty, have you seen Lair of the White Worm? I have, but it's been so long I don't remember it very well.
That movie has one of the most gory, like, parts in it in the end. Like, I won't go into detail. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because I don't know what to say about that. But there's like a severed hand part. Oh my god. That was very shocking.
I need to rewatch it. I saw it, honestly, when I was a little kid, and it's probably not a movie for a little kid, so I don't think I really even understood the movie, but yeah.
It's basically just like a rated X version of like Enya. I don't know, the girl just reminded me of that. I'm like, oh, it's just Enya, but rated R, I guess.
Yeah, I was allowed to watch anything since I was a little kid, and I turned out totally fine.
Right? I think you turned out great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Tara. And you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm hanging in there. No matter what I do, my hair gets messy and my skin gets oily, so I'm just like...
Well, if the hair gets dry and the skins get oily, you can just, you know, squish, you get like a squeegee and kind of get up into the hair, and yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm full of good ideas. Yeah, my hair gets messed up sometimes.
There you go. Gets messed up. Just put a little in it. Well, right now it's so hot and like.
Oh yeah, it's probably very dry there, very humid where I am.
It's humid where you are?
Yeah, I live on Cape Cod, so I'm completely surrounded by water, and it's very, very humid here.
I feel like where you live is like would be the setting of a Scream film.
I can see that, yeah.
Like this like beautiful little town, never any crime, never problem, and then like a killer hits. Like, like one of those towns.
Yeah, yeah.
Got our eyes on you.
Every once in a while, especially since I started doing my night walks again, and the police will just follow me around sometimes.
Really? Like in their cars? They'll just...
Yeah, just follow me around the town while I'm walking around. The other night I was walking, and then I was bringing like a little snack, like a pack of tuna or whatever, or an apple, and I was sitting on a bench, and I always have the earbuds on listening to an audiobook or music or something, so I don't really pay attention to anything. But I could just feel like someone's watching you, you know. And I looked up, and the police car was just parked there, and they were just staring at me. And I just like waved, and they just looked at me and then drove away. And I was like, they don't even wave or nothing. It's very weird.
That is weird. I mean, I think people just don't understand. I don't know. I guess like horror artists. We were filming one of the Intimity tapes one time, and one of our like. Studio neighbors, you know, like the studio we film at, thought that someone was yelling at somebody and like called the police. But we were just filming like a scene, and everyone like freaked out and thought it was real. But we tried to put signs to say, "Hey, filming in progress. There's no death. No one's dying," you know. But sometimes people think it's real, I guess.
Yeah. Years ago, I was filming this a long time ago, and I was filming a Christmas horror video, and I had my mom actually holding the camera, and so I came out of this shed dressed as Santa Claus with an axe to go up to the camp. And my neighbor came out like, "What's going on?" Like he thought I was like coming out to like attack my mom with an axe, I guess. But
wait, he just like burst out?
Yeah. And he came running like over her, and it was like snow on the ground, and I was like, "Oh, we're just filming something." But it was very funny to me.
That is really funny. He thought he was going to be a hero that day.
Yeah. At least he didn't shoot me or anything.
He saw, "You will unhand that woman." Like, he felt very confident to do that.
Yeah, I guess I should say, I guess that's a nice thing that he was trying to save my mom.
True. If it was a real killer, now you know your neighbor has your back.
It's true. He was still like many feet away, so he probably wouldn't have really done nothing, but but it's the thought that counts, I guess.
We used to have a neighbor way back in the day when we do a lot of photography who taught like martial arts, and he hated everything we did because we were just doing like crazy,
Right.
photos and crazy goth girls running around everywhere, and he was like just not having it and would like complain about it. But I think secretly he probably just didn't understand that nothing crazy was going on. We're just literally taking photos, and I think people in their imaginations make it like way more crazy than it actually is. They think like behind the scenes everyone's just having orgies and stuff. And in reality, you're behind the scenes like eating Chipotle, and like being gassy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd mentioned in the last interview, so Annabelle and I went to a horror convention. I think it was Kokomo. It's someplace that doesn't sound like a real city. And the taxi was taking us there, and they're like, "Well, what are you doing, blah, blah." And we're like, "Oh, we're going to a horror movie convention here." And the driver was like, "Oh, that's good that they get all you guys together so you're not out killing everybody." And I was like, "What the hell is this dude talking about?" Like if we weren't at a horror movie convention, we'd just be out like killing everybody in the streets. And I was like, okay.
This year in Phoenix at Mad Monster, it was at the same time as like a business convention. And so there's all these like crazy horror fans, and on the elevator people in like business suits. And they're terrified. They're just like looking at everyone.
That was the same way at a Mad Monsters at in Seattle. At the hotel, it was like it was some business thing was going on, and it was the same way. It was like completely different crowds.
It's kind of fun because I guess like sorry.
That's all right.
It's a little dog and
I know.
Everything. But it's crazy how when worlds collide, and sometimes I forget that like I'm only around people like me, like horror filmmakers and artists that like that stuff. So when I'm around people that aren't, I forget to like hold my language back or not say a joke or not like reference the sinful door.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to realize like, oh, okay, I guess I'm part of like a cool, crowd, I guess.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm always wearing a horror shirt or whatever, and I generally don't pay attention to anybody around me. And then, sometimes Annabelle will say, like, "Oh, you're wearing something that, like, normal people won't wear." I don't even think about it. But I don't care what someone else is wearing. So.
It's true. I'm gonna grab this dog.
Yeah.
She's being crazy.
The one time in Boston, I went up. Hello, Tweak. Am I correct?
This is Tweak. She's a little monster. Look
She's
at her.
very cute, I think.
Isn't she cute?
Hi, Tweak.
Look at, she's just a little crackhead,
Hey, whatever you feed your dog, that's up to you. No, so as I was in Boston, we were gonna go to. It was in Halloween, and so I had the Zombie 2 shirt because we were actually gonna go see Fabio Frizzi playing live for a movie. And this guy, he's like, "Satanist! We curb stop Satanists here in Boston." I was like, "What the hell?" He's yelling at me, and he's like, "Watch your neck, Satanist!" And I was like, "Okay, buddy," but. It was it was crazy.
We curb stomped.
We curb stomped Satanists.
All because of your t-shirt?
Yeah, I was wearing a Zombie 2 t-shirt.
What?
And it was Halloween. It was like the week before Halloween.
Definitely, the person had the way wrong idea.
One other on Halloween, we were driving to Salem, and the cop pulled us over, and we were both in costume, and Annabelle had these white contacts in, and he was like, "Ma'am, is that your natural eye color?" And I was like they were like completely white, like no.
You think, bro?
Yeah, and like, where are you guys going? And it's like, and it was Halloween night, and it's like, is it really that weird that two people are dressed up on Halloween night?
Whoa, that's so absurd.
Yeah.
How weird.
Yes. And going to Salem, he's like, whoa. Or we were leaving Salem, and he's like, what was your business in Salem? It's like, it's Halloween, you know.
I'm in Salem, Massachusetts. It's a very, like, iconic town for that. And it's Halloween. Like,
Yeah.
How weird.
Yeah, it was very, very weird.
I get people sometimes, they'll have, like, an Uber driver that will just be dressed like this, you know? And they're like, what are you, goth? What are you, punk? And I'm just, I don't know, I'm just me. And they're all like,
no punks in here, lady. Hit the bricks.
They hate me. They're like, how many tattoos? How many piercings? I was like, I have no piercings. I have no tattoos. I like them, but I'm just me, I guess. Like, and they, like, can't fathom. They're like, no, you're goth. And I'm like, okay. Whatever you say, you know.
And what would it matter if are they gonna be like, get the hell out of my car? You've got too many tattoos, or
I don't know.
you know what? Why does it even matter to them?
Yeah, it's true. It's very strange, but it is what it is, you know. And I guess there's just a group of people that like weird movies and wear weird clothes, and
Yeah, I have no tattoos either.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I'm all being like one of them. Where's your tattoos? Where's your piercings, Neil?
I think it's more rare not to have tattoos than piercings today.
Yeah, I think I'm just like really OCD. So if like anything is on me, I'll just like, you know.
Right. Yeah. I don't wear like a lot of jewelry or anything like that because I just don't, or watches or anything. I just don't want stuff.
Yeah, like the stuff makes me like sweaty, you know.
Yeah.
So my dogs are being so bad.
That's all right.
She's being so bad.
She wants to join in.
Yeah, she has like this mortal enemy who's this corgi that like every time she hears her, she just like goes crazy. So you know, we all gotta have a nemesis. A little Yorkie.
Who's the nemesis of Leprechaun? Just like the gold thieves, I guess?
The gold thieves?
Yeah.
I guess people who collect gold and people who are greedy for gold, I guess would be his nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I love Leprechaun.
Could we ever see Leprechaun versus Sinful Dwarf?
I feel like they would get along. And
then they would team up.
Yeah, they would team up.
They could have like a whole group, you know, instead of like the Avengers or whatever. It's like a supervillain group of all the small. It's all the villains that everyone overlooks, and they all get together.
I like
maybe Chucky in there, yeah.
I like the idea of these like subgroups getting together. I'm gonna try to keep her quiet, but I do like the idea of like. Well, because you know how, like, there's a lot of popular art that shows Jason and Michael and, like, all of them together. I think we need to see a genre that shows Sinful Dwarf and Leprechaun and, I don't know, what other movies?
I think Chucky's, is almost too big to fit in there, so we need somebody else.
We need some kind of weird monster alien thing of some sort.
Oh, maybe like a critter.
Yeah.
A critter in there, yeah.
Yeah, like Critter.
Or Ghoulies or something, yeah.
Yeah, the Sinful Dwarf. What a funny movie.
one of the puppets from.
Like, how have I never heard of this before?
Well, that's fine then. You can discover it, and it's new for you.
I love that. I'm so glad that you've seen and heard of it.
Yeah, I was glad that you brought it up. That Spider Baby and.
Yeah. What other ones? I think of other weird, like, underground, like, grindhouse films from back in the day.
Oh, this is interesting. AJ says Sinful Dwarf, Leprechaun, and Bloodsucking Freaks, which if you've not seen Bloodsucking Freaks, I'm a big fan.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, that would be one I would recommend. I'll remind you to watch Bloodsucking Freaks.
What's that one about?
It's like this weird, like, sort of S&M kind of club thing. He's like, I don't know, it's hard to even explain, but the two, there is a dwarf in it too, is why he brought it up, and it's a wild movie. He has a human table, and it's this very bizarre film.
Or the little person?
Well, the little person, he's like the sidekick of like the weird magician guy.
Okay. What did you think of that movie, 31?
31. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I thought I would like it better. I do like him a lot. Pancho Moller. I've had him on the show several times, and he's a really cool guy.
Cool. Do you ever get nervous?
Well, you mentioned Sid Haig. So Sid Haig was our first guest ever on the show. So our first show was just us, but the first time we had a guest on the show, it was Sid Haig. And so it was my first horror movie interview. That was 2006. And so when we called him, I was like nervous because it's the first interview, and it's Sid Haig, and this is right after Devil's Rejects had come out, so it's like a big person. And as soon as we called him, he just talked about like he was just there watching TV, and the point was he just seemed like a totally normal person. And so I felt like felt at ease right away. Like, oh, this is just a guy, and very nice guy. Always been supportive too. He was one of the guys who suggested me at conventions to do panels, which was a big plus for me. And so was just a big part of the show, because that was a really big guest to have on the very first show.
I remember I met him I think twice at Mad Monster, and he was the only celebrity that I paid for an autograph, and I was so nervous because I had been watching a lot of his films.
Yeah,
he was in the big Birdcage, right?
He's Captain Spaulding.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Don't you like clowns? I always think kids when I wear the makeup and they don't get it. Don't you think we're fucking...
You have a great laugh for a clown, and you also make a great clown. I've seen lots of pictures.
Oh, I love clown stuff. It's just so fun. I feel like it's just like human makeup. Like anyone can do it.
I actually saw something once that because people think it's a new thing that like people are like the evil clowns, where people like have a fear of clowns, but that's always been around because there's something about the makeup where it's human but it's not quite human, and so it like kind of triggers something in your brain that there's something off about it, and so that's always been around. Like maybe not a fear, but like an uneasy. A lot of people have always had an uneasy feeling about clowns, and it's because the makeup is human, but it's just kind of like off.
Yeah, it's like a caricature.
That's good. Yeah, it's a good word.
Of human archetypes, because you can always do the sad clown, you can do the scary clown, you can do the sexy clown, you can do the hobo clown, you can do what other kind of clowns are there? The like sleazy clown. There's just so many.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, like a caricature. You take whatever stands out about someone and you up it, you exaggerate it. So it's an exaggerated version of whatever it is. If it's sad, you exaggerate the frown and the tears, and if you're happy, it's an exaggerated smile.
I need to do clown makeup on you.
All right. I'm for this. What kind of clown am I?
I don't know. I would make you a scary clown.
All right.
You like scary stuff, so
I do.
I would make you like scary, like blood coming out and just like evil eyebrows.
All right.
They're really all on the eyebrows, you know.
I practiced raising the one eyebrow. It took me a while.
Wait, I can do this.
I can only do the one now. I used to be able to do... You have very, wow, you have very, great eyebrows there. That. That seems like I should set that to music.
These are the Vulcan eyebrows.
That's pretty wild.
And then this is sad. And then one.
Very emotive.
I had a lot of bored time in the mirror.
It's a very emotive eyebrows, and just however you raised them or lowered them or different movements really made you look. You are like a human clown now, basically. Very sad, yeah.
Full expressions. I can do this one.
I'm very impressed. Yeah, I can't do anything.
No.
I'm sure I can, but yeah. You can curl my tongue.
Let's see. That's pretty good.
And you can also curl it upside down.
Oh, I can't do that. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm impressed.
I would like if someone just tuned into the show right now and it was like eyebrows and then curling tongues. They're like, what is happening? I kind of like it. Yeah. Look at that. It's like a Jello or something. Like it's all moving around. Almost looks like it's CG. It's that you can, wow.
What? I don't know.
You mastered the manipulation of your face. Walter Mitty can wiggle his ears.
Oh.
I don't think I can. No.
I think I can. I know, I have really small ears, so I hate showing them. I can't wiggle them. I can't.
Well, now there's something for you to practice on for next time. The wiggle the ears.
Yeah, we'll do ear tricks next time. Instead of brow tricks.
Without your head, with your ears? I don't know.
Yeah.
AJ says, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, each one was different and freaky in their own way.
Oh. You know, I still need to see that movie.
Oh, you've never seen? It's really weird. It's weird that it's become like way more popular now than I think it used to be.
Oh, look what I found.
Ah, The Sinful Dwarf. Look at this, the Blu-ray. Which I should bring up as well, that New Village Video has also started selling physical media.
Thank you for saying that. And yes, we have. We're selling Blu-ray, some of our titles. I don't want to reveal the names, but some of our titles we are putting on Blu-ray exclusively on us. So check them out.
That's awesome. That's very exciting.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
You get. I like the hand movements, but now that we're in the smaller box, you got to keep them in here, not out here, because now people don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah.
You know, how do you do the small box?
This?
I put the elbows to the side and just
that's what I was doing actually. It's like, boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like the robot dance you're doing. Yeah.
What is your favorite horror film?
Beep, beep, beep. What is my favorite? If you are asking that as an actual question, favorite horror film?
Yeah.
It really depends on my mood, which is something I do like about horror movies. Is, you know, if I want to watch like just something crazy and lots of gore and stuff, I like that kind of stuff. I like a horror comedy, like a thoughtful movie. But if I had to narrow it down to a few, it's definitely Creepshow. I'm a big fan of Creepshow. I have this is the first VHS tape my mom ever bought me when I was a kid. The original Creepshow in the clamshell. And they were expensive back in the 80s. And so I've always loved Creepshow because it's a great combination of it's funny, it's great stories, cool monsters. So I like it. I think it's one of the better anthologies where all the anthologies are really good. And I love the Universal Monster movies. And I really also a big fan of Dawn of the Dead. I think that's the best zombie movie, the original Dawn of the Dead.
What about the remake?
I'm not huge on it. I know a lot of people really like the remake. But I think if it was called something else, I would probably like it more. But I love the original Dawn of the Dead, so then when they remake it, I'm like biased against it because it's a remake.
What about The Last of Us? Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's good. There's some good modern zombie movies because I think to stand out, you got to kind of think out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah, zombie movies scare the hell out of me. But I love them. Okay, so you said about 3 films, I think.
Yeah, how about yourself?
So I got a dry throat.
That's alright.
It's hard to say. I love, like, action horror. Especially, like, I love werewolf movies. Actually, I love that movie, It Follows.
Oh, okay, that's a recent movie. That was very original too.
Yeah, that one's good. I love, even though it's not a horror film, to me it is one. Aliens.
Yeah, I'm more of an Alien, but Aliens is great too.
Aliens is great, but Alien is good, but Aliens, I guess it just shows more of the chest burster action.
Yeah, it's definitely more action movie. I think Alien is more really like a horror movie set on a spaceship, and then Aliens is much more action. You've got a lot of just a lot more aliens going on.
Yeah, I love sci-fi horror a lot, like space horror. Like, I love that movie randomly. What's it called? Damn, it went out of my head. It starts with a P. It's not Prometheus, even though I love that. Pandorum.
I don't think I've seen Pandorum.
You haven't seen Pandorum? What? It's so good. It's like I think it's from like 2009, maybe. Like, I could be wrong.
I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna cheat.
Really good acting. It's like a space horror film. There's like cannibal aliens and gore and action.
Dennis Quaid?
Yeah. Yeah, that movie scares the hell out of me.
I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
Oh my god, please watch it. Please.
I will.
Please let me know what you think. I really like it. Very disturbing. I won't spoil the end, but it has a twist. And it's really good. So yeah, I don't know. I like
AJ has Event Horizon, that's a good one.
Event Horizon's so good. I love that. Especially the director's cut version, because didn't they have original?
Yeah, it's good. It explains a lot more.
Yeah, it shows more of the gore and what have you. I actually really like the remake of The Evil Dead that came out, I believe.
I like it too.
It was really good.
I really like all the Evil Dead movies, but I like the Evil Dead the remake too. And I thought it was smart to make a different, because if you remade it and then if you had a new Ash, like that's never going to work because everyone's going to compare him to the original. And so they went a really different version with, a different way. It's more of a horror movie. It's got some comedy in it, but it's not overtly comedy like Evil Dead 2 is.
I liked it, and I
like it too.
Way more disturbing than Evil Dead Rising. Even though I liked that movie too. I loved Evil Dead Rising. That was great. But
yeah, I liked it too. I like the remake better as well. And it's got a great scene where she's like cutting their arm off.
With the meat cutter thing, the meat saw. Oh god. Yeah, I liked that. I like I just like them all. Like, so I would say definitely those are some of my favorite movies randomly. And also, I don't know. I like I recently watched all the Hellraiser.
Oh yeah.
And
several years ago, we did Hellraiser month, and we had we had Doug Bradley and all the original Cenobites on, and so I watched all. I had seen them probably all, but I watched them all in a row. It was interesting. Some of the ones that the first one's still the best, but some of the ones that people don't like, I actually thought were pretty good. Like the fourth one, like it's a lot of hate, but I watched it again. I was like, no, it's actually a good movie.
Yeah, like they never don't deliver on the gore and like the practical effects on those movies, so I like that.
I even like the latest one. Now, the first one they made without Doug Bradley, I thought was really awful. But then I think the newest one is, I don't mean the very newest one, that one was fine, but I think it's Judgment, and it's a really bizarre movie. They try to do some different stuff with it, and I thought it was really good. I think it's called Judgment.
I haven't seen that one, but I'll check it out though.
Yeah, it's not Doug Bradley as Pinhead, but it's good.
I'll give it a chance. Yeah, I really like another one of my favorites is probably Dream Warriors.
Yeah, the third that's definitely the best of the sequels of and I think why so many people and why that one really stands out is because unlike a lot of slasher movies where you're just rooting for the killer really to kill everybody, you actually like the kids in Dream Warriors, and they all work together, which I think is a good aspect of that movie. And so then when you actually like them, you actually feel bad when they get killed. And the kills are fun at the same time, but you actually, want them to win. Unlike a lot of movies, you just really want to see how they get killed.
It's true. Especially, like the early 2000s slasher movies. I think they did a really good job of that. Where you just want to see everyone die. There's like one character you like, and everyone else you're like...
It's almost either they're annoying and you want them to die, or you don't care at all. They're just there to get killed,
Yeah. Like all the Final Destination movies, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, you're like, it's okay. Can't wait to see how that one dies. And then they always die terrible, and you're like, oh my god. And then you feel bad for them.
Yeah. But yeah, if you actually care about the character, then it means more when stuff starts happening to them.
It's true. I always hate when they make the character too sympathetic. Like, for whatever reason, in Rob Zombie's Halloween, I hated when he killed Danny Trejo. When he's like, I was good to you, Mikey. It's like, why did you kill him? He was good to you. But I guess that's why he's evil,
Right. It gets over it puts over that. You can't, even because that movie is interesting because you actually start to, they make the characters more human in that one, the family, and then so you actually kind of start to like them in their own weird way. And then, but that's the same. It's almost like making the audience question themselves why they're rooting for the bad guy or rooting for the anti-hero.
It's true, but
why are we interested in Charles Manson?
Yeah, I guess we just like the anti-heroes. I guess we're just edgelords. Oh, how fun!
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That was a lot of movies. I mean, I like. Sometimes we do these list shows. We'll do a list sometime. Our top 13 horror movies, and you can be part of it. And we'll get everyone involved. Troy and Annabelle and everybody, and we'll come here with their top.
Yay! That would be so fun.
Yeah.
That.
And it would be fun because everyone would have much different, opinions.
Yeah. And I'll wear the red blazer.
All right, fair enough. I'll get the top hat out. I might keep it kind of hot right now, but
yeah, it's a little hot. But I'll just put a fan on me, and have dramatic hair.
Well, that would be very cool. I don't have anything to blow around. So.
It's all right. Just blow the beard.
I'll have to grow it out.
Yeah, straighten it, moisturize it.
I'll have to get some beard tips here.
If I could grow a beard, I would perm it. I would want it to look like a Grecian god beard, and I would make it permed and with perfect curls. and I would be very arrogant about the beard.
I like that you've really put a lot of thought into this.
I have. I really have.
I feel like it kind of fits in with the whole leprechaun vibe, that you'd be very arrogant about the beard. And
I think that's like my inner thing. It's like a little leprechaun.
It's like a bearded leprechaun.
Yeah. Like Gimli the dwarf, like I want to be that, but I can't.
I'll always think of you as a bearded leprechaun. I'll have to add it to the nicknames. I have many nicknames for you.
I am the bearded leprechaun.
The bearded leprechaun. I don't even know if that's something like is a good thing, but why not?
Hey, I think it's good.
Yeah, well there you go. That's all that matters.
I'll take it.
All right, very good. Yeah. So what else is new on New Village Video?
Oh, well, just releasing Murder Size, which is only available there.
Yeah, exclusive. That's very exciting, and I do want people to check it out because I have not seen it yet, honestly, but it looks very fun, and it it's a cool independent film. A lot of cool people involved. The New Village Video has exclusive streaming right now.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's so fun. And one thing I like about A&P Productions, their films, they did Slasherette Party as well, is all the comedy. Like, I love when people do horror and comedy together. That's always really fun.
Really, those are the two best things to watch with people because, comedy you're gonna laugh, and horror a lot of times you make noise, and so I think it adds to the atmosphere to watching it. It's like you don't want to sit around and cry watching Schindler's List together, but horror comedy it's got the two things that I think are more interactive in a movie experience.
Yeah, very stimulating.
Yes.
I like films that are stimulating in every way, where the music is like going and there's color and the characters are crazy and you don't know what's going to happen next. I like that kind of stuff. So we have that, and then we're going to be selling Blu-rays very soon. So keep an eye out for that, and they'll be exclusive with us.
Very cool.
So we're also going to be making a feature film in-house this year. So be prepared for madness and gore and, just craziness.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you.
And it's always nice to see you're very passionate about all this.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's like I dream it. I wake up in it. It's my life, I literally have nightmares sometimes about being on your show and, like, farting or something. I don't know.
Next time I'm gonna have some cued in. I'll just play them.
No, don't. Don't make my nightmare come true.
It's an amazing laugh, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I have to keep, like, my maniac laugh. It, like, scares small children.
I say let it go. Let it fly.
I'll let it go. I've had the cops called on me before.
Really?
Yeah. I've been at parties where I'm all, like, in the backyard, and people call the cops, and they're like, "You guys keep it down." I'm just like, "I'm sorry, like, I can't help it."
Can you please have less fun?
Yeah, I don't laugh, I roar, so, well, it is what it is. Yeah, please stop having fun. You're making all this intimidated by your mirth. But yeah, lots of good stuff on New Village Video.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Do it. I like the point.
Have some fun,
Yeah.
With my large hands. I have, like, very large hands. As you can see.
I do not.
Well, I have large hands for both of us, so I can.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. That was cool moves, yeah. I'm holding on to my coffee.
I'm trying to show off all my moves, my eyebrow moves.
Yeah, it's very talented young lady here.
Oh, thank you.
So how was the Mad Monster experience?
Oh, it was so fun. One of the craziest things about it is seeing people this year that normally I've never seen at conventions before like that. Like, more, I guess, like, normal people, And so it's really fun because it shows that it's growing, that the audience is growing more and more, that people are more hungry for independent content and hungry for grindhouse and exploitation.
I think Terrifier 2 has helped a lot in that because it's this should be this really underground because it's super graphic and stuff, but it played theatrically and it did so well, it kept playing, and I think more normal people got to see that and were into it, and now they're trying to seek out some other, weird things.
Yes, it's a good gateway drug.
Yes.
Into the underground, so I would say that was one of the best takeaways from Mad Monster this year. And a lot of people were very interested in the Blu-rays, and
that's good too because a lot of people say the death of physical media and stuff, but I think especially horror really, because people want and the Blu-ray usually has like some cool specials that you can't get somewhere else, and horror people like to collect it too, so I think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think there's a new scene forming, in the underground film world of new content, new type of horrors, new type of violence, new type of everything that's emerging, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how all of it goes the next couple years, so we shall see.
Very cool. And I wish I could have made it, but I did not, unfortunately. I feel very bad. And I saw pictures. And
but it's okay. I'm just kidding. But for reals, you should come out. See, the Phoenix Mad Monster is really fun. There's a lot of good vendors there, too, actually.
Yeah, that's always a fun thing, too. Is I believe Clay Guy was there. I've known him for a long time. He makes the little clay figures of all kinds of cool people.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I love it. It's just a great community, great fun.
A place to get a lot of cool shirts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got an Evil Dead shirt.
Oh, nice.
There, it's so badass. They sell, like, flannels. And then the back has, like, a Frankenhooker logo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just really unique things and really good quality stuff, so... Anyone out there in Phoenix, you should go to Mad Monster next year.
Yeah, I know it's very hot, but you're probably going to be inside most of the time, so get out of the heat and have a good time with a bunch of crazy people. Yeah. I mean that in the best way possible.
Hey, you know what? Crazy's, at least it's not boring.
There you go. You don't want to hang out with boring people.
Oh, hell no. Who does, So, a lot of good.
Hang out with bearded leprechauns, and that's going to be a much better time.
Bearded leprechauns.
Right.
And sinful dwarfs.
Exactly. I guess I could be a sinful dwarf, maybe. I don't know.
We all have it within us.
We do. I'll have to find my inner sinful dwarf.
Yes.
That could be... when you do the clown makeup, maybe you can think of a sinful dwarf. That could be.
Yeah, I will.
And not the movie, just like a sinful dwarf, whatever that means to you.
Okay.
Right.
Done. Challenge accepted.
All right, remember this. Yeah.
I will. I won't forget.
You better not. Well, this has been very fun. The time flew by.
It did. Where did the time go? What the hell?
Yeah. So we'll have to do this again more often, if you're up for it.
Yes, I'll bring the blazer. I'll bring the little dog.
Yes, I like Tweak. It's good to see Tweak.
Yeah. She just sit on my lap, like tap dancing for some reason.
Yeah. Seems like the thing to do.
Yeah, she's just a crazy little dog, little critter. Yeah. Probably why I love her. So
yeah, seems kind of similar to somebody else I know.
Yeah. So, yes, thank you for having me on as always.
And, of course. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, check out Murder Size, rent it on newvillagevideo.com, and check out the madness and the mayhem and the murder and the spandex.
Yeah, oh yeah, and not that I notice these kind of things, but watch it shows a lot in, nice posteriors as well in the movie.
Very nice posteriors. And
That's a classy way to say it.
What's the opposite of that? What would you call it?
Some nice booty, I guess.
Like there's exterior and posterior, and would it be exterior? I don't know. I'll think of it.
Interior? I don't know, but yeah.
Interior, yeah.
That's a wholly different. That's a really different kind of movie.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. And
thank you. All right, we're gonna play us out with the music of the month, the Antibodies, the cool tune, and we'll be back next week. And I'm not sure if the Murder Size interview probably won't be live, but it'll be recorded and it'll be up sometime next week. So everyone out there, it's your homework. Go to New Village Video and watch Murder Size and send in some fun questions, and then check out the interview next week when we talk about it.
I dare you.
Do it. And if Tara dares you, you have to do it. It's like the double dog dare in the movie, the Christmas Story. There we go. Of course.
I double dog dare you to the death.
Yes. And here, don't stick your tongue on a pole. Instead, watch Murder Size.
Yes.
It's a much more.
Let us know what you think.
What was that?
Let us know what you think about
Exactly. Let us know what you think. All right, here we go. I think I have it played up. Here we go.
Treehouse Club in the backyard. Phantom classic horror film stars. Message from Mr. Alucard. Do you think Wolfman's got nards? You know who to call when you have those, but who do you call when you have monsters? Let's go! The Monster Squad, make no mistake. We got our silver bullet and we got wooden stakes. The Monster Squad, we ain't afraid to fight. There's no way in hell we're gonna let the world end at midnight. 666 Shadowbrook Road. Van Helsing failed years ago. We won't blow it this time, no. We'll cast them off into limbo. You know who to call when you have those, but who do you call when you have monsters? Let's go! The Monster Squad, make no mistake. We got our silver bullet and we got wooden stakes. The Monster Squad, we ain't afraid to fight. There's no way in hell we're gonna let the world end at midnight. The mummy's in my closet, Dracula lost his mind. Creature stole my Twinkie, we're friends with Frankenstein. Boys, time is almost up, it's your last chance for pie. You know who's really bitchin', that scary German guy. We gotta find a virgin and get the amulet. We'll end this once and for all, cause we're not chicken shit. Way cooler than the Goonies, we rule so goddamn hard. The army showed up too late, so here's our business card. Monster Squad, make no mistake. We got our silver bullet and we got wooden stakes. The Monster Squad, we ain't afraid to fight. There's no way in hell we're gonna let the world end at midnight. The forces of darkness arise. The Monster Squad, to challenge the fortunes of light. The Monster Squad, for control of all mankind. The Monster Squad, this is the year, tonight is the night. The Monster Squad, call us for a monstrous good time. The Monster Squad.